Yo, yo, what's going on, everybody? Swirls only. And my homie Hezidente on the
What's
check-in.
up,
I
guys?
think Axis will be joining us in a little bit. What's going on, brother? How you doing today?
Doing good, bro. Trying to get this this little chat thing over here worked out, but I'm going good, man. I'm excited. There's probably people already rolling in.
Nice.
I've been looking at your some of your analytics, dude. There's you're getting a lot of viewership. It's cool.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I've noticed that as well. I was actually looking a little earlier today, and I just realized like how many follows I've been getting on Twitter, how many what do you call it, views on YouTube, subscribers on YouTube. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because it does help people find me. And when they find me, their whole perspective seems to change for one reason or another. I guess the math just happens to make sense. And that's what we want people to realize, right? It's not about me per se. It's just about the information that I'm sharing. And that's all we want, right? We want to be able to get the right information. And that's what it's about, man. You know, it's about getting the right info out there, making sure everybody is well aware of what's going on. And if I'm wrong, then adjusting that information as well, because we already know everybody doesn't know everything. So we just do what we can, you know, try to keep everybody educated to whatever degree they're comfortable being educated with, because education is the key. Tis the key. Tis the key. Let's see. Yeah, I like that a little bit better.
Exactly. And the even me, you know, there's still I'm constantly in a state of just renewing, you know, getting new data in, getting rid of old data just in my mind, you know what I mean? And there's still a lot of things. You should be learning stuff every day regardless, and then be teaching what you do know. But it's like I'm not immune from having to do that too, you know what I mean? Sometimes I get caught up in certain things, and but that's what's awesome about these streams, is that there's a lot of education that it's stuff that I never learned in 16 years of school, or however long I was in school, some ridiculous amount of time. And yeah, so dude, it's a lot of value. And it goes past crypto, you know what I mean? It's like some people just want to say, hey, keep it hex focused. Like, dude, all this stuff it's life.
It's related.
Focused, you know what I mean?
It's all related. Yeah, and that's why, you know, I had to send a tweet out earlier talking about that, because people need to understand. You know, hold on, I wasn't trying to show it yet, and it's not. It's all jacked up anyway. But yeah, people got to understand. In order to realize why you need to focus on crypto being the future, you have to actually understand what the hell is going on out there in those streets, because you can't pretend to think that just having a lot of fiat is going to solve any problem that you have, because it's not. Simply not. If that was the case, then we wouldn't be having all these discussions, and none of them would lead back to Hex, period. And they all do. Right? None of the things that are going on are by mistake. Everything is by design. And there's a reason, right, that you're not the closest to the inflation spigot in the fiat system. So all of these conversations are important for that reason, right? Like, crypto isn't an illusion, clearly, because if crypto is an illusion, then we are also an illusion. What's the difference? Almost none. Right? Because it is what it is, and value is found where it's found.
And that's another thing about, you know, I see just so many people I get caught up in it too. It's just like you think the system that got us here is going to be the system to help us get out of where they brought us, and it's like,
yeah, that's super funny. I'm glad you brought that up.
That's going on like a lot right now, which, you know, I see the sentiment's good, but it's like these people got us here. Yeah.
How can you expect them to actually fix anything?
Yeah, exactly. It's dude, they're the one. You got to really look at, you know, some people just forget they have these short attention spans of like a day, and these news cycles just click, click, click. And it's remember that, you know, the government, the people that brought us to this point, that didn't bring up anything good for a long time, that didn't fight for us for a long time, and then it's like something bad happens in crypto or regulation. I mean, but a lot of us, you know, it's a lot of people, they're like, okay, what else? What that is like the mecca, you know, that's it. If our, you know, leaders and politicians and stuff can get something done, hopefully. But it's like, man, after seeing some of the stuff that's gone down the last couple of years, the system, it's not the people, it's just the system that's failing as far as I can see. And
Correct. I mean, the way it's designed and the way it's set up right now, it's set up to elude you, right? For you to always not be in the know. I mean, and it's not to talk politics, it's to talk about crypto, right? I mean, look at what just happened this past week with the legislation they're trying to push through in the so-called infrastructure bill. But hold on, let's sneak in all this funky shit to fuck everybody over in one specific industry. Like, do you really think that's a coincidence? You think that was by mistake? Somebody just slipped them papers in there by mistake? Don't be moronic.
It was 2,700 pages. It was like, the thing was 2 feet thick. You know what I mean? There's no way anyone could even read through it. It's like, they pass these things. They're sneaky. You know, they'll pass it at night. They'll do all sorts of stuff. But then, you know, you have good people that are like, okay, I want to take action. What do I do to take action? Okay, people are calling the senators and Congress people and congressmen, women, and it's like, yeah, I hope. I mean, that'd be good.
Right.
It's just, you know, you kind of think on the same line as me. You know, it's just, I don't know if the system that got us here can fix itself. You know, it's kind of
like
they snuck it in there.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I think Einstein said something similar too. You know, you can't actually solve a problem with the same solutions that created it. That like makes no sense. Right? It's like running into a wall. Why would you repeatedly do that over and over and over? Clearly it's not working. So what's exactly going on? Right? And this is why everything go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good. It's just like you see, I don't know, you just see, you know, it's the politicians, especially with this bill and everything that went on. It's like it was pretty much a full-fledged attack on even the DEXs and the wallets, and how it was going to change things to where they had to register as brokers. Like if you had a DEX, or if you a company like MetaMask, for instance, or any company that was like that, Uniswap, and all these things that have been awesome, that have been great inventions. It's like they're seeing them like they can't get a piece of it, or they want to find a way to get a piece of it. And yeah, it wasn't, you know, even though I say, you know, the system's broken and all that, it's like still something has to be done, because that was that rule, or that the legislation they tried to put up was like, it was not good at all. It's not a good, it was attacking like the very foundations of all the stuff that we believe in crypto and outside of crypto. So it was
correct.
So we can't just stand and let them do it. But I just think of just a way to do it would be a good thing to talk about.
Right. I mean, and here's a funny thing, right? Because it's a very valid point. How can you pretend to respect this system when they legit came out and said, hey, fuck this whole industry? Even though they, you know, in reality can't do shit. They can't do anything. The only thing that they can actually do is, you know, we already know, I'm not going to say it out loud, but that, you know, those points, that's all they can do. Right? So this is important to understand, because if you already have value, nothing's happening to it. Well, we're good. Hexicans are good because we don't need fiat to come in and pump anything. It's just going to happen regardless, because it's just designed to do that. And Hexicans already know the system exists, and there's always going to be a way to find an out. Like, that's one thing. The internet is always going to give you an out. So the reality is that no matter what they do, it's not going to work. So
yeah, that's kind of what I've been predicting too. It's just like they can't shut off Hex. They can't turn off.
They can't do anything. It's the internet.
But what they'll try to do is the people's ability, what we call an on-ramp, you know, your first entry into crypto, and then and your exit. So it's like, obviously that's what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So,
yeah, they're trying to shut it down. They're trying to shut it down because it's not even a matter of them not getting a piece. It's a matter of them not wanting you to get anything. That's literally what it is.
Yeah, because they just print their pieces. They print
Correct.
into infinity. So it's more just, no, you can't have yours.
Well, you can't have your own.
Yeah.
That's what it really is. You can't have your own.
And it's one of the only things that for the average guy, it's like the only way to even try to like better your, like financially speaking, I mean, and you want to talk about investing and things like that. I mean, before this system goes completely digital with what they're doing, and we don't even run on fiat anymore, this is like a window for like families and good people to kind of front run them and be able to actually get some riches, some wealth stored away, to where whenever that does all go digital, because whenever that happens, it's like they want a footprint, and they're gonna know everything you do with that footprint. So us building this system with Richard and all this, he talks about this whole, you know, ecosystem that is evolving and being built. It's good. It's good for us, but then we have to think, you know, there's a lot of other people. There's a lot of good people out there that just don't know any better. They don't even know inflation and all these stuff's going on, like we always talk about.
Yeah.
So
that's a fact. That's a fact. I was having a conversation earlier with somebody that's a hex skin, but they're not as knowledgeable, right, as they like to be able to explain why hex is so superior and whatever like that. And they were just like, yo, you know, how can I explain it like you? I'm like, look, you got to understand all these concepts at a level that you can just make them sound like Twinkies, right? And that requires just educating yourself to a degree where nobody can tell you yay or nay, because you're always going to have a retort. Always.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just repetition is getting yourself proximity, get your proximity close to streams and information and certain things. And whenever you first start talking to people, like when this was like a year and a half ago, when I first started talking to people, it was like really rough. Like it was just, you would say too much, not enough, wouldn't have the right answers, but you just keep talking to them and keep doing this. And it's like, that's how you end up doing it fluidly, and you can onboard people really smooth. And eventually you become just an expert where there's no problem that you're going to run into. And there's no rebuttal that anyone could really say that you don't have at least an answer to.
Right. Yeah, because that's the thing. It's all about at least being able to find the answers more than anything else. Because when you can find the answers, right, you can give the reply or the retort. And that's important, because you're not always going to know the answer to everything. I mean, there's a lot of things that I figured out live on stream, right? So a lot of things just happen to work that way, and it's important to understand that. Now, this is a very, very audacious compliment. Thank you very much, but I don't agree. I think we all need this information. And this is why I sit here and take as much time as I physically can to, you know, share what I know with factual proof, of course, not opinion, because who cares about that? And shout out to the HEX Asians. What's up, Crypto King? You guys check me out there on Sunday and Monday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I also stream with Johnny Aguilar in Spanish on Wednesdays. And I am also now streaming with Hex Wake Up. So I pretty much stream almost every day now. It's crazy.
Straight putting in some work, some straight hours.
Man. Yeah, it's got to be done, bro. Got to be done. The information has to get out. People have to understand it's not fake, it's real. And they need to learn, because if you want to be rich, that's cool. But if you want to stay rich, you better know what the fuck is going on. Because you're not going to stay rich if you don't know what the fuck is going on. So, you know, that's what it's about. And shout out to you, Miss Growth, for seeking out knowledge, right? Because this is the only way we get forward, right? We move ahead. You got to always be seeking out information. It's not free. It's not even, I mean, the crazy thing is it is free, because all the stuff I've shown you, clearly I just find it on the internet. I mean, I don't do much, right? Like I'll do some stuff right here in front of your guys' face. So, you know, it's just what it is, man. You guys got to just be ready to learn, be ready to ask questions, be ready to, if you don't understand something, figure out how to understand it, because that's important. You know, it's very important. That's how you make the right decisions, is by having the right information. and understanding that is important, very important. So that's why we're here, man. That's why we're here. We'll answer that question at some point during the stream, brother. Thank you for asking. Because that's a good one. And you guys know I'm going to give it to you raw. So be ready because, yeah. So it's looking interesting right now, right? A lot of people think, crypto's looking good and all that. But, well, you know how that goes. Some things are just fleeting. And sometimes price action is one of them. So we'll come to see what in the hell is this doing?
And then you see, honestly, you see a lot of people, which, I've been guilty of it before, but there's the sentiment or what they want to be true.
Right.
Like that's what they are really talking about. Like and you see that a lot, like on Twitter and everything. It's like,
correct,
they all want it so badly to be true that there's very few people that will say otherwise, especially in their group, because they get ostracized or, they won't listen to them or.
Right.
So, but yeah, like you'll always give them the facts straight up. So I think that's what people need and want. There's too much fluff
funky
out there.
Stuff,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, too much funky stuff going on. That's for sure. And again, nobody here is perfect. Everybody here is open to making errors. So it's all about improving together, because together is how we actually defeat these beasts, right? And we got a whole lot of shit to defeat out there. And that's just the reality, right? There you go. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what's up, everyone in chat? I can actually see the chat down on my little computer. So I know AJ Rip City said hi. So
yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Yeah, I figured it's just as good to say what's up to people by letting them know they're here, by highlighting their existence. Because there's so many people now, it's crazy. It wasn't like this at first, man. At first it was maybe 20, 50 people consistently. Now it's fucking hundreds. It's hundreds now. It's crazy. So shout out to everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're growing, and we're growing at a nice rate, nice pace. And the people are realizing that what we have here is different. It's unique. No sugarcoating, no fluff. We're real crypto over here. There's no promise coinery going on here. And yeah, we're here to do real things, right? Like the rest of the promise, well, the whole promise coin space. I mean, let me rephrase. The promise coin space is ready to bend over. Okay, they're ready to bend over, and every beck and call. They don't give a shit. You guys got to understand that. That's why they're the promise coin space, because they are literally securities. There's an intermediary for each coin out there. They're on an exchange, right? Like, they're not crypto. We already defined what a crypto, and we're going to get into it again, because this is the whole point of this stream. The whole point of these specific streams that I've been doing with like tokenomics and shit like that, so people understand what an actual crypto is. It's very, very, well, this is a very good point, T-Bird. Yeah. Designed to fail, in fact. Yes, it is designed to fail. That's what the math is all about. That's how I discovered all of these things I know. That's how I discovered it. It wasn't about somebody telling me, hey, this is what's going on, or me finding some magical book with all this information. This was me figuring it out by looking at math, figuring out what makes sense and what doesn't. Because, again, it's like GDP. Who gives a shit what the value is in dollar terms? We care about the units, what the actual growth of productivity is. Why the hell would you care about the dollar growth? That's not real. Clearly, because the dollar isn't real. So it's like completely antithetical. It's so dumb. And shout out to you, Randy. Appreciate the comment, man. I've seen nothing like this organization in my life. And again, this is completely decentralized. This is just a group of people that choose to do what we're doing. That's it. Lord said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. That is very true. We must be willing to change our world thinking and be transformed. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You have to literally, some people, it takes most people massive pain to change, like once you hit about 25 to 30, but we just have to know that we have to renew our minds constantly with the correct information, and it's like that. The first point is saying to yourself, man, I don't really have a lot of this stuff figured out. You know, you kind of have to be humble about it first, and then you can start actually learning, because that's what I do. You know, there's plenty of things that, you know, I got to come to the table about and just kind of forget everything I was taught about it. And
that's a fact.
there's
Man.
so much of it, especially in the school system that we raise all these things, and it's like I get to like work alongside right next to the U.S. government, like with them. So it's it's just I've was kind of seen it, how the downfall a little bit the last 5-7 years, and it's like it's blatant, but it's almost so blatant where you're like, man, something's super up here. So like you said, these streams being educated, and then people being able to, like you said, the fiat thing, just because you have a bunch of paper money doesn't mean you're going to be able to go out and change
Not
things.
gonna be able to do shit with it. Yep.
So just the education, then the funds, the resources, the team, everything. Then you could go out and
team is critical.
Really, yeah, having a team is super critical.
Super critical, because I didn't understand that until I met all these great Hexicans in Vegas, because that's when I realized, wow, like we were just getting shit done in Vegas. Like there was nothing. Like everybody was just getting shit done. Like it was just crazy. And you know, that's what let me realize, like, yo, this is gonna be not as like this is really doable. Like I didn't think there were a lot of people, you know, like us in the world. So it's a different world now, different point of view for me entirely, and it's exciting, right? Because to find the same caliber or class of people such as yourself is exactly what we need, right? We need to be able to spread this information, keep creating more individuals that actually want sovereignty for themselves, right? That they actually want to be independent, that they want to be free, that they don't want to be coddled by some psychos, really. Shout out to John S for putting this in the chat. Christopher Gronsky, I'm not familiar. Destination Freedom sounds familiar. I'd have to look it up, but I put a tweet in the chat, and I'll share my screen just because it is that important, just for this specific reason, because it is something similar to this. My tweet is very straightforward. I want to be done complaining and make change. Check out the links below in order and take them more seriously than you do your life, because this belongs to everyone after we're gone. Like, it's on us to change what's going on, guys. It's not going to happen after we get old. Like, we literally have to do it now. This is the biggest thing that people don't understand. It's not going to be your kids. It's either us or we're fucked. And so are your kids. Pretty much. That's pretty much where we're at. I mean, you think that they're being coy about sliding in? Oh, let's decimate this whole industry? No, they're not being fucking coy about that shit. They're letting you know. They don't give a fuck. Straight to your face. So be wary. I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. No, I've been thinking about that, dude. I'm not married. I don't have kids, but it's like I have a lot of friends that do, and I'm like, man, if I did have kids, I would be like, not. I know, you know, we would get it done, but
of course,
with the stuff that's going on, and thinking of the world that they're gonna inherit and all these things, I'm like, you know, because you basically hit this point once you're rich, you're wealthy, you take care of your family, all this stuff. You kind of come to this thing where it's like, okay, I can just disappear and, you know, do my thing, have a little team with me, whatever. And then basically just find an island and go do whatever. But then there's something else that's like, no, like, we can't do that. We can't if we all did that, nothing, you know, we would have never even got here. So it's almost like there's this thing where you kind of feel, I mean, it's not so much a burden, but it is like, if not someone like us, then who, you know what I mean? It's almost like the world's asking, like, where's the leaders at? Where are the people that's gonna, you know, and all these things are like really important, and it doesn't seem like there's much guidance, much leadership, much
that's by design, my brother.
Yeah, and the kids, it's like, man, the stuff they have to put up with now, you know, all the stuff that's going on. We don't have to mention all those things, but you guys know, you guys know all that stuff that's going on, and it's just like,
it's fucked.
You know,
it's fucked. It's real fucked.
Yeah, and
I mean, it's not cool at all.
Oh, and anything that's ever, but if you look back through history, anything that's ever happened, like even the founding of this country, you know, it was good people, not perfect people, like standing up for what was right and actually and actually doing something for the better. That was putting their
taking responsibility, man. Just taking responsibility. You know,
yeah.
it's real simple.
Yeah, have you heard the saying? It's like a nation is born stoic but dies Epicurean.
I have heard that saying before. Yes, I think I heard
It's
it in a
true.
movie. In fact, yeah. No, very true. Very
Yeah,
true.
because yeah, you guys look up what that means. Yeah, I think it was from The Richest Man in Babylon or something like that. It was out of a book, but yeah, it's really
Okay.
true. And we're
No, I've seen it
seeing,
somewhere. Yeah.
yeah, if you're stoic, you're putting off the joys of today to do stuff for the future. Whereas like an
Right.
Epicurean would be like, get as much as we can today so we can party, live it up for today, not thinking about the future. When it's like
Tomorrow.
that's all. It's all
Which
fun and good for a
is
little bit, but
yeah, and that's what happens. That's what's happening.
exactly, that's where we're in right now.
That's exactly what's happening. And shout out to all my international viewers. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know it's probably late in most places, like the UK and Europe. So thank you guys if you're able to tune in. I'm sorry, but this is the best time I can do on Saturday. I try to do them earlier when I can. So just be on the lookout if you're awake.
Yeah, I feel for those people out there too. Australia, UK,
Yeah,
all of our friends over there. I mean,
yeah.
So you guys keep holding tight. You know, it's
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I'll catch them early in the morning, like 7, 8 o'clock. They'll be like streaming. I'm like, fuck. I can't even talk and sound right at that time. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Man, you guys check that tweet out. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I get up sometimes and you're already like I'm going to bed, you're streaming, then I wake up, you're streaming.
Yeah, West Coast.
You guys off the hook.
All right, West Coast, yeah. Yeah, this is really all it is. It's taking the power back, right? And again, if you read, please, I admonish people, at least read the Constitution for fuck's sake. If you do nothing else in your life, read that document. Ingest it, understand what it's saying, because it was written as a universal document, not just for the United States. That's the one common misconception. And they will lie to you all day about that shit in mainstream media. Don't get that shit twisted. They will do it all day. But read. This is Article 5. Article 5 talks about reorganizing the federal government specifically, which clearly needs to be fucking done. So you guys take a look at that tweet. Take a look at those links. This shit is real. And it's real because we want it to be real. It has nothing to do with them any longer. There are more of us than there are of them. This is something you just have to come to terms with. Stop being a pussy. Grab your fucking nuts and understand that this is the time to grab your fucking nuts. I'm 36. How much more time are you willing to give them to fucking fix shit? They're clearly not going to do it. So put your head out your ass. That's all I can really fucking tell you. But yeah, man. It's just real as fuck out here. So stop being yep. Actually, they just excluded them from the bill, but then that leaves every other freaking protocol. So what's the difference? What if something else is created that's better than these both? What are you gonna do? Can't use it because it's not approved? Like, no, fuck them. They don't get to determine what the fuck can be created and what can't be created. Get the fuck out of here. Doesn't even make any damn sense. Oh no, you can't think of that. Okay, my bad. Yeah, good luck with that, man. Good luck with that. It's just fucking asinine. Completely asinine. And just the notion of these people thinking that they can just do or say some shit like that. What, they really gonna shut the internet off? I hope they fucking do. I hope they do. Let these motherfuckers shut the internet off. What the fuck that? Well, what else are they gonna do?
Dude, that's what people like. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say they went back to analog. Good luck to them. I know how to use a ham radio. I'm not worried about it.
I got it too. Yeah, you got to be, dude. It's I would advise people, you know, through all this stuff, just be prepared, you know, and be educated, be prepared, talk to you, you know, be talking to people. That's another thing. Like the finances thing has, you know, finance has such a big hold on people to where they're like, I'm just trying to survive, trying to pay the bills, so I can't think about this other stuff. Where HEX, Pulse, all, you know, they're creating these.
I got family members that think like that, bro. I can't even believe it. Like, yo, I'm here telling you exactly what the fuck is going on. That's what you're gonna tell me? Like, no, there's an issue. There's a bigger issue than your job. You're not gonna have one in fucking X years if you don't listen to what the hell I'm telling you. And look at what's going on now. Now, the claim is they can't hire enough people. But here we are getting ready to do what? Shut shit down again. How about that? Well, you know, you gotta think something going on there with that, right? Something is going on with that. So,
dude, and then you got to just think, like, some people have a hard time wrapping their head around, like, why are these people like this? It's like, just imagine you were born and you never ever had to worry about money. Like, you just had unlimited amounts. Then what do? You run out of things like to keep yourself busy. You know, all these, you could do whatever you want, get however many girls you want, you could have as much money as you want, party, and then it's like at the end of the day, it becomes about control. You know what I mean? So these people's lives are literally just about control. And it's like, you got to understand, these people are straight evil, like on a high level. And it's, you know, you could see what's taking place, but it's like, if there is a group of people that could do something about it, you know, this group would be an amazing candidate, dude, because we just got all sorts of, we got legit people here that actually want to make a difference. I think most people really do want to make a difference. They just don't know how. They don't know, okay, what's my next step? And
correct.
Yeah. You see that a lot.
Yeah, and this is why reading is important. This is why nobody knows what the steps are. Right? Because people are just waiting. I mean, in all honesty, because I was in the same boat.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm speaking from an honest point of view here. You know, people want to believe the system actually works because they don't want to believe it doesn't, because then that requires them to come to terms with the fact that shit is fucked. Right? And it's fucked to the point that we have something like this that's on the screen right now. What happens to crypto if they hit the internet kill switch that Obama put in? Well, I hope they have many kill switches, because there's a whole lot of internets out there in plurals. So good luck to them if they pick the right switch. Not sure how that's going to work out. Yes, thank you, Diamond Dad. Do not conform to the pattern of the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So you have to understand what this means. This is not saying conform, right? This is saying figure out what the fuck is going on. Because you have to renew your mind in order to understand that. Otherwise, we'd still all be obeying and consuming, right? But clearly, the majority of you folks here in this YouTube stream watching it right now are not part of that crew. Outside of the fact that you want to hear about HEX and tokenomics and all that other jazz, because it's all related. That's the thing. You're not going to have crypto. You're not going to have tokenomics. You're not going to have a damn thing if you don't understand what's going on. And this is why, even on Twitter, I'm talking about all different kinds of things, because they're all related. You can't avoid the real world, period. I'm sorry. Because they are going to force you to live what they want you to live. And that's just what's going on. I mean, there's not much else you can do. Like, there just isn't, right? And this is a fact right here.
And guess what? There isn't another America to fall back to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there isn't. It's on us, literally. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Where are you going to run to?
Exactly.
Portugal? They just haven't passed taxes on citizens there yet. Don't think it's not coming. You'd be a fool. They just loading up the boat with all you suckers that think you're going to be able to escape over there. They're part of the EU. Not sure what planet you guys are on. Like, have fun, but enjoy it while it lasts, because it's not going to. The EU? Nah.
That's why we just have to take these topics and this thing, you know, really seriously, and think about what you're actually going to do with gains, and how you're going to do it, and who you're going to bring with you, and who do you need around you, and who do you don't need around you. And don't just stop thinking about just being a consumer, and start thinking about, you know, what you can do to change, or what you can use for good, because that's what it's going to take. You know what I mean? And however far that goes, you know what I mean? We'll see. We're going to see how far this goes. But until then, you know, we just have to be ready, be prepared, and talk about it just like we are right now.
That's right. You can't be scared to talk about it, because what are you going to do? What are you going to do when the dollar busts and you have no more value in your pocket? What are you going to do? What are you gonna do? Then what? You're gonna wish you had something, right? I mean, you gotta think so. You're not gonna just be like, well, fuck. Now what? You're gonna wish you had something. You're not gonna be like, well, I'm fucked now. No, you're not. You're gonna wish you had something. And this is why understanding what the dollar is critical. It's not a game. You are dealing in monopoly money. Seriously. And it's important people understand that, because that is the whole reason crypto exists. Crypto is a legit threat to the system as it stands. People got to understand that. That's not like, how are we going to change this? Well, it's by having these conversations, checking out that tweet I put in the chat earlier, understanding what the Constitution is, what it says, what it states, and how all of these basic laws are being broken. 99% of the federal laws that exist today can probably be repealed. Not shitting you on that one. And I don't even know everything that's on the books. I'm just guesstimating. Because why the fuck wouldn't it be repealable? Why? You need somebody to tell you how to fucking drink coffee? Or that the coffee's hot after you get it? You're a fucking moron. Straight up. You're a fucking moron. Like, we've created this libelous world where everybody's worried about covering their ass. To the tune and to the point that we have so many fucking lawyers that who gives a fuck that you're a lawyer? It's like it means nothing. Oh, you're a lawyer? Good for you. I've been thinking about going to law school for fucking as long as I've been in college. And that was back in 2007, and I never went because it's like, what the fuck is the point? Everybody's a lawyer. And this was back then. Best decision I ever made was not become a lawyer. Imagine. Complete shit show. I mean, and look, the biggest thing you guys got to realize is that the biggest regulatory effect that they can have, and my boy Axis is just joined. What's going on, homie? How you doing?
What's going on, everybody?
Chilling, bro. How you been?
What's up, bro?
Doing all right. I was listening to you go on and on about how fucked up the world is for the
Well, it's not so much about how fucked up it is. It's just about what we need to fix. Right? It's all about positivity over here. And in order to know what needs to be fixed, we must know what is fucked up first.
That's true. So anybody that's listening, yes, the dollar is a lot like monopoly money, as are all fiat, not backed by anything but might currencies. That's what they are. They're backed by their GDPs and their might, and their armies and stuff. So, but here, guess what? That's power, right? So, that money does have some staying power. Actually, Wales, me and you were talking about this today. We were talking about stable coins. Remember?
Yep.
And I mean, because fiat and stablecoin are synonymous. If you ask me, they're supposed to be pegged 1-to-1 to each other anyway. But
yeah, they typically are. At least they try to be.
Let me go on a rant here, though. Anybody that wants to say that they want to take Tether and USDC out of the top 10 or whatever to like count your top 10 cryptos, like fuck that. Like the coin, like what matters is what has utility, which has use. So if stable coins are useful, they're important and they belong in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? Like this whole notion of what is a cryptocurrency and how many cryptocurrencies actually might exist out there. I mean, it's a deep topic, and I think, we each have different opinions on that.
Let's get right to it then. A little disclaimer. The information displayed in this broadcast is known to cause increased amounts of FOMO, and a little intermission between the first and the second sentence. My charts are not complete because I'm waiting for the rollover, so I'll be getting them done during the stream. If you hear me clacking away, that's what's going on. Wells only and his guests are not responsible for any losses you may accrue for not understanding how to do math. I'm sorry. Please learn what compound interest is. Go do some math and go figure out what your best staking strategy should be. You're welcome. All right. Because when you sell, this is what ultimately happens. Look, all those people that sold at 8 cents, I'm pretty sure they're sick as fuck right now, even though it's only trading at like 12 cents and a half or whatever. So what is a cryptocurrency supposed to be? Now, let's just go right into what the definition is, right? A purely peer-to-peer version of what? Electronic cash would allow online payments to be sent directly from where? One party to another without who? Going through a financial institution or intermediary. I hope everybody caught that, because that's what a crypto is. A crypto, in all that's like, if you really wanted to be simple about it, it's just a form of payment that doesn't go through an intermediary. That's it. Because you're essentially maintaining your privacy. So what does that mean? Well, the word crypto is only thrown on there because it reflects privacy. That's it. Cash is a form of crypto if you really want to think about it. The only issue with the cash that we use is that it's not actual money. It's fiat. But it does afford us a form of privacy when used in physical form. Even though you are obtaining said fiat through an intermediary. But you could use it in a peer-to-peer fashion if need be, even if you are obtaining it from an intermediary. Because, of course, it's fiat. It's coming from somebody. Somebody's issuing it, right? So this is the main thing I just want to say, because it's related to the comment that the Cyber put up. What you guys have to understand about regulations and crypto is that they're all psyops. Look at China. If you believe they can stop you from buying, then you will not buy. That's the only way you can buy crypto. So, yeah.
You know, about this topic, it's like, who, just ask yourself, like, who has the right to tell you that you can't take something that is yours, that you own, and give it to someone else or transact with someone? And
Correct.
Anyone that's going to tell you that they want to, especially a government that is going to get in the middle of that and try to stop you, that's like, it goes against every, you know, basic human right of just what we have. It's like, no, obviously that's not what it was about. Obviously, right here, you see it.
Yep.
This white paper.
Whatever tool that would be has much less value. So that gets into the whole censorship thing, and that's what makes blockchains useful, is that they're censorship resistant.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Now, we can get into the part where really it boils down to the altcoin market. You know, more than anything, or not the altcoin market. The shit. What am I trying to say right now?
Stablecoin.
Somebody roll up on me on here. I'm gonna go mute for a second.
All right.
Hey, somebody just rolled up on me here. 1 second. Be right back.
No problem, bro. No problem. But yeah, though, that's like my whole point, right? Like, the reality is that it's on us to police ourselves, right? Now, if you got a bad actors like Binance or whatnot, then don't use them. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude,
don't be mad that they rug pulled you. Don't fucking use them. Like, what the fuck?
Dude,
Right?
seriously. Yeah, you should not be using them. It was crazy to see how, like, so much stuff is allowed to go on, like, just like that, for example, Binance and leverage and all this thing. But then they want to tell, like, law-abiding, good, like, American people that, you know what I mean? And it's like, I just can't stand that. That's how they are, because
it's horrible. But here's the thing, right? At the same time, brother, it's on us because it's our market. So we have to be like, hey, don't use this exchange. This exchange is bad for XYZ reason. And people, if they want to go there and trade on there or keep it capital on there, hey, good luck to you, because odds are you're going to lose it. Whether it's the exchange itself or some person that has a backdoor key, they're going to take it. It's happened to me. Why wouldn't it happen to anybody? It can happen to anybody. Period. It just was going to happen because they have the ability to do what they want. Right? And shout out to Netherlands. Wow. You're up late, brother. Shout out to you. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, perfect time for yeah, that's where I live. So it worked out for me too. Sorry, man. Washington State. All right.
You know what I want to make? I want to make a I could probably put it right here too, like a map with the not a globe, but a flat globe, and then put get everyone's countries without doxing themselves. I already know where most of them are at, and put a little hex pin.
Little hex dot, little hex logo. That's pretty cool idea, bro.
Yeah, dude, I think that'd be sick. I know we got so many countries now.
Yeah, we got India, Philippines. I mean, we got China now. We got Korea. We got Japan for sure. We got lots of European countries, whether it's, fucking Western,
Austria.
Northern. I mean, yeah, all kind of places. I mean, fuck. Peter from the HEX Wake Up is in Czechoslovakia, right? Like, we got people all over, bro. It's fucking crazy. I'm trying to think of like all the crazy places, right? We got people in Portugal. We got people all over, man. It's major.
Good.
People in Mexico, Canada, right?
Check. Can you hear me? I think we just got dropped for a second.
Who?
I don't know. The stream just dropped. Maybe it was just for me.
Might have just been for you. Yeah. I hear you. Are you back, Access? What's up, bro?
Yeah, sorry, I got back over out of the computer here. We're good to go.
You good, bro? You good? Got Australia on the check-in. That's right. Forgot about Australia. I mean, yo, Australia be out there, bro. I mean, damn. That's a flight. You flying for a whole day. You flying for the whole day. Like, come on.
Yeah, and then what Axis was touching on was just the, it's not. We still always, I always have usually a positive outlook, but it's almost like we gotta shake each other up and.
Whoa! I didn't need. Whoa! I'm sorry, bro. I didn't even know there was $50 super stickers there. That shit's crazy. Hold on, what does this look like? I gotta show the chat. That's what a $50 super sticker looks like, folks. Major. All right, go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's all good. No, I don't think I've seen one of those before, but no, we tend to stay positive, but it's almost like we can just. You can almost get caught up in it where it's not even. It just becomes entertainment that you're scrolling, you're seeing all this horrible stuff, you're seeing bad stuff, and it's almost like, hey, I'm powerless. I'm just going to try to do maybe just
right.
It'll shake you up a little bit to get you out of that thinking of
correct, because that's not the right thinking.
Yeah, this helpless person.
Look, let me. You make a phenomenal point, dude. And the reason I'm cutting you off is because look, I gotta say, we got 174 people watching right now. Let's say 99% of those people are on the same page. If we wanted to get something done, you don't think 160 plus people wouldn't be able to make it happen? I'm pretty sure that we would be able to make it happen. Hop, skip, and a jump. Because there's 100 plus people just watching. It's too easy, right? Like, and let me just speak to this comment. And while it is time to be angry, it's time to take that energy, which is negative, and convert it to positive energy and figure out what is the right thing to do, because now is the time to take action. And that's why now is the time to take that anger that you've been bottling up for however long. Like, look, for me, it's been basically my whole life, because I've always noticed shit doesn't make sense. And that's all it is to me. None of this stuff makes sense, and we all know it doesn't make sense. So what's the issue? Now we got a way to escape that problem, right? And they're trying to stop us from doing it. Like, nah, fuck out of here. I don't think so. You can go suck a dick, and it's that simple. It's really that simple. That's all you got to say. Go suck a dick. I don't think so. Because it's up to you to make that choice. It's not up to them. They are nobody to tell you what is value and what's not. Who the fuck are they? They can't even manage a fucking budget. You think they can tell you about money?
The market's going to tell you what's valuable. It already does. Like, cryptos are clearly the fucking fastest source right now. Like, that's what has value, is freedom. You want free money? You got freedom? You got a taste of freedom? All right. People, you're willing to pay $1,000 for an ETH transaction because you're going to make 3,000 more? All right. You know what I mean? It's like the blanks people are willing to go to for freedom. And right now, freedom looks digital. And so crypto's a good spot. And yeah, man, it's a crazy space. Peer-to-peer electronic cash, man. Who would have thought how far we've come? You know, HEX is an amazing tool. It's that and more, all built into one little nice package.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's one of the only freedoms that hasn't been really eroded yet. And so that's kind of why it gets me up about it, because it's like I've seen a lot of other stuff, you know, freedoms get eroded, things are not allowed.
Even Bitcoin, man. Even Bitcoin got subjected to legacy because it had to. We had to almost had to somewhat, in some ways, you know, sacrifice Bitcoin up to the other system so it can kind of like sit in the middle, hold the gap for us, so to speak. Because end to end, a transaction in HEX is totally decentralized, you know, for the majority. So the whole thing is like completely on chain and real, like hands passing coins between each other, so to speak.
you know, it's pretty cool, man. It's the only real one from the whole, from the trading process. I'll break it down to like the inflation creation. It's all tied into this nice little thing. You know, Bitcoin's done, man. Like it's going to $1 million, but it's going to be regulated to hell, and you know, and enough. It's going to be in a lot of endowment funds and government balance sheets, and
actually, yes,
this and that. You know, it's all going that route.
I see it all the time at work now, actually.
And you can wait. You know, you can buy Bitcoin and you can wait, or you can buy. You know, if you got some money, you can buy like 10 or 100 Bitcoins and sit on them for a long time, and know that, you know, as all the other coins pass you on your way to $1 million per coin, as far as ROIs, if you're okay with that, just because it's stable, it's going to be like, you know, it's funny, you know, the term stable coin might evolve over time. You might find that as fiat loses value, you know, we're already down 99% on the dollar or something crazy like that. So imagine doing another 99% on 99%. What that does, it just, all that means is inflated prices or less item for your dollar. So it's one or the other. Two ways to look at the same thing.
Not any other way. That's literally it.
Well, because there's it's cost to produce things. Everything, it affects the price of something else. And when your actual foundation of currency is eroding beneath you, stability is going to look something different. And in that world, stability might look like $1 million Bitcoin. Is all I'm saying.
Good.
But on the way to that, there might be other cool technologies that come along that also do that and more. And so in this case, yeah, this is a pretty cool, like, I don't know. How do you define HEX? Like against like that backdrop?
Well, it's exactly that backdrop. You mean what's on the screen?
In a world where
my bad.
Bitcoin is like world reserve and like stable coins.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're stable, right?
The scenario you just described, where Bitcoin has no volatility because it's $1 million and
or more or whatever. It's arbitrary.
Yeah.
The point is that, and the point is that a lot of big players, like huge organizations and governments and stuff, hold most of the BTC, or like the most as they can get a hold of. And so everything kind of like it's funny because Wales, if you could pull up, I don't know if I still have that chart of Bitcoin versus gold in the 1970s, but that's a cool chart to show, because like if Bitcoin is really going through
I have that
super cycles like gold did back in the 70s, this is what this chart shows. It shows.
You want me to show you the screen?
The run up that, and then what gold then did thereafter was,
hold on, because I got gold here.
Did then thereafter was just basically go, slightly. It went up slightly at a slight slope upwards, but it was basically stable.
Mistake.
So I mean,
that's when it'll become like when they say store of value. You know what I mean? It'll probably become a less volatile, more of a store of value. It's like I don't think it's gonna go away, and it certainly played a part in even me getting here and probably all of us getting here. So it's like I do give it certain like credence with that, and I don't think it's necessarily going to go away. And there's still going to be a lot of the money put into it, and it's going to be around. But just from an ROI perspective, like you said, it's that's kind of what we're looking at. But I think it's gonna, like you said, it's gonna go to 100,000, probably go to 1 million someday. It's like it'll probably just keep going. You know what I mean? Like it's done. But
I just think what I'm grasping at right now is the idea that we're all trying to we're all have a definition of what stable is, and in reference to cryptocurrencies, like now it's almost like the amount of risk to get into cryptos now is much less than it was 6-7 years ago, when it was still like a nascent market that might not have made it this far. So my point is, like, it's in the future, are we going to look at, in quotes, stable things as things that just go up stably but more faster than other stable, in quotes, assets? They're all trending up against this dying fiat system. So like My point is that literally the best strategy is to just buy and hold the one that it's such like it's like such an asshole thing to say because it's like so true, it's so simple, but then so hard to find. Is like finding the fastest horse that you can just sit in and just accumulate it. And I think that's HEX right now. And I think it's the macro play right now.
Right.
I really do. I think it's protected by the OA, and I think the liquidity pool, the liquidity and the environment of the liquidity is just like a unique situation that that if the right players jump in, that and everyone kind of, sees the value here,
Right.
it's just gonna moon.
Right. I mean,
so I don't know.
Besides the fact that it's designed to do that, one thing I do want to say is looking at this gold chart. It reminds me of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
This is 55 days per candle, by the way, for those that are viewing and cannot tell. Let me get rid of this comment. Shout out to you, Thoughts Child. Peace out, bro.
I like that name, Thoughts Child.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, that's my homie right there. So what's interesting is if you look at the chart, it goes all the way back, 1834. Oh, wait, no, is this? Yeah. 1834. When gold was 60 and change, or 20 and change back then. All right.
Yeah, 1849 was the start
Gold
of the gold rush.
Yeah, but the price hasn't changed on this data. I don't know why.
No.
It's funny, dude. Look at it. It used to be stable.
Yeah, because it used to be what backed the currency.
Right. It was dollars were measured in gold, which was physical, which was solid. You couldn't change it, the measurement of it. And then once you stop measuring it that way and you invert it on its head and you start measuring gold in an inflating dollar supply, then that's why you get this chart.
Right. This right here is when FDR stole everybody's wealth. And he repriced it at 35 and said, fuck all you guys. I do what the fuck I want because I'm president. Because y'all dumbasses said so. Like, how the fuck does this even happen, yo? Like, I still don't get this shit. How you just take everybody? I feel like that shit is made up.
It's crazy to me how like America is so self-righteous that they, our government is so strong. Our people, our will to live is so strong. The American idea that we're willing to go to any other country and stand firm knowing that we have the right to challenge them to anything as long as they're infringing on our freedom. It's crazy. We're fucking insane, dude.
Yeah, it's very crazy, actually. Very crazy because if you think about it, that's literally you saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna come to your block and do what I want."
Well, only if it's justified. I feel like it should be how America operates.
They justify it.
Yeah. Well, that's my point. Is that they'll find a way to justify it.
Yeah, that's why it's bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they call it their interest, which basically is everything now.
Correct.
You know what I mean? If it's in protecting their interest, which it goes pretty deep. But what Axis was saying too about the stability too, it's like if people want to use it if it's going to be like in the white paper where it says peer-to-peer digital cash, it's like digital currency. Okay, a guy from El Salvador that makes no money, how is he going to buy a volatile asset like BTC and then use it as a currency or a tender? It's like,
not going to happen.
It's probably going to get more stable as it goes on, but even even small amounts of volatility in a payment network, it's like, I just don't see how that's going to work for especially a third world type. That's not a third, those types of countries where there's a lot of,
poor people. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Relatively speaking, people in El Salvador are poorer than people up here. So yeah, they're poorer than us, and that's okay.
Yeah,
they know it. Don't worry. They don't earn the same rate that we do, and that's okay because that's how their economy is set up. Because they've allowed it to be that way, and that's all it is. It's nobody's fault but their own, and that's the thing that people don't get. Who leaves government to do whatever they want? They do, right?
Oh, exactly.
Nobody else did that, so it's okay. People gotta be like, this is the biggest thing, bro. People gotta realize they're the ones that make those decisions. Nobody else. If you're okay with what's going on outside of your house, then shut the fuck up. Don't complain. Don't say nothing, and enjoy your fucking day. But if you're like me, and you have a bone to pick with people, then create a platform for yourself. Say something. Educate folks. Let people know what the fuck is going on. Because this shit is important. It's our future. Whether it's monetarily, whether it's physically, Hell, they're even fucking with our health at this point. You can't even go to a hospital and know what the fuck is going to happen when you get there. That's a fact. In most places in the city, you don't know what the fuck is going to happen when you go to a hospital, bro. You don't know. Like, that shit is crazy, bro. It's crazy. Yeah, crypto for the win. The real crypto, not the bootleg shit that they out there calling crypto, a.k.a. the promise coin space. Over here, we talk about real crypto, and for now, that's just Hex. So...
One thing I do want to go at, we can go over later, whatever, is a native stable coin on Pulse, or that would be it's a really interesting topic. I hadn't thought a whole lot about it, but you know, it's gonna be awesome, dude. Stable coins are, you know, some people like them, hate them, whatever. I use them. You know, it's like they're they do play a really good part.
They serve their purpose in the market. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I think they can be utilized a lot of different ways. That would be something that would work better for a payment, you know, system or network. Not be something that's really volatile like a stable coin would. That would be something that would actually, like El Salvador, these places could actually use, and it could, you know, as long as it was stable, they could use it whenever and not be, you know, not be hurt by the volatility. Yeah.
To answer this question from Matt Kelly, can the banks block the on-ramps to crypto? Yes, they can. The banks can decide who you transact with and who you don't. They decide if you can use your money or not. So let me tell you people something. And before I get into that, shout out to you, BGM, for the $10 super sticker. I don't think this shit's shown anymore in the chat, though, bro. Let me see. Oh, yeah, it is. It's actually pretty fucking clownish. Oh, whoop, wrong one. There you go. There you go. A little cheerleader work. Okay, I won't show that way. All right, so there you go. Thanks for the $10 super chat, brother. Or super sticker. Excuse-moi. So, yeah. So here's something you got to understand about banks. Once you put the money in the bank, notice I said because it ain't yours once you do that, it is no longer your money. So they let you spend it on where they think is appropriate for you to spend it. That's how banks work.
Oh yeah. They
do. Yeah. So we all know they hate crypto, right? So yes, they will block your ramps if they can.
Yeah, I saw that Eric Wall comments on Twitter a little bit. I was reading through those. He just makes him sound like a little crybaby. I don't know what to say.
I don't know. Who?
Eric Wall.
He reminds me of a guy that wants to be like a fan of like Richard so bad, like badly, and just completely capitulate. But then he's holding this little reserve of like,
definitely.
You just can't quite get there, but you could. It's kind of. He's all right. I kind of ignore him a little bit, but
it's funny. He's funny.
Yeah, it's almost like, man, you gotta.
I
you can't tell if he's loving or hating.
I think he's loving, dude. I think he's loving. I think he's eating that shit up because I think he thought it was the dumbest shit before Richard launched it. Now it's just like he's like, I don't like it. I'm bullish on price, but I don't like it.
Talking about PulseChain or Hex?
He was
Hex.
on both, but yeah, he did say.
Wait, is this the guy with the fucking that they took the hex size and that's how it started the whole thing?
He lost a bet and he had to make his.
Yeah, that fucking schmuck. That guy's a schmuck, bro. Come on, stop wasting stream time talking about this fucking guy. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Like, let's not talk about the furus here. Let's not give them a platform that they don't fucking have. This ain't the one. No furu talk here, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here. Hold on.
What's that furu siren?
That's a good one.
Jesus.
Yeah, you see, there's so many people that there's a lot that are like that. You know, it's just a lot of them I ignore, but man, it's just I'm just a nice guy sometimes, you know. But Wales has to come back and get me corrected on some of this stuff.
You guys got to understand. This is very simple. You know, they sat there, they slandered, they lied, they disrespected for a whole fucking 19 months or however long. Bear market comes for them, they don't know how to fucking act. Now they want to come kissing ass. No. Don't engage. Don't engage. You're better off engaging a troll with 20 fucking follows or 0 than these clowns that think they have clout and are nobody. That's just a simple fact. You're just wasting your time because they're just looking for engagement. They're looking to get their numbers pumped up because they got no other way to do it right now. Because what are they going to say? Buy what? They already missed the bounce, so they can't even say buy anything anymore. It's just already happened. So by the time they're telling their people to buy again, market's going to be going down and they're going to wreck them one more time. That's how that's going to work. So this is why we have to keep these fool rules in their place. You can't give them any space to operate. They don't deserve it, at all. Not whatsoever. Not whatsoever. They're clowns for a reason. They got people wrecked for a reason. Now, just to highlight on the comment that Saba made. So yeah, this is how that works, and this is how it happens. So anytime you go to war, right, nowadays, what happens is the military claims to pull back, but what they actually do is hire private contractors to take the place of the soldiers. So it doesn't look the same on the books. And this is what these folks did here. They cut back, but not really. You don't have a smaller government. You now have bigger government with civilians telling you what to do. That's what happened there, bro. But you know what I'm saying, Axis? Like, I feel you, bro, but fuck these guys. They don't deserve us to waste our time talking about these clowns at all.
Oh, it was just something funny that was someone was talking about in the chat.
Oh, no. Yeah, I feel you. I'm just saying, even if it's funny, fuck them, bro. Like, they're clowns.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But look,
like,
you gotta understand,
clowns.
like, if it wasn't for that, literally the Eric Wall versus Richard Hart interview, I would have never bought Hex. Like, that's literally the reason why I ended up buying Hex.
I feel you.
Because of that interview.
I feel you, bro.
As much of a clown as he is, he got me to get exposure to Richard. So it's like,
No, I feel you.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yes, you're right. And it's just a transition period, man. Relax. Like, it's going to be.
Oh, no, I understand.
They are.
I just want to make sure people are clear on that.
And I think everybody needs to know that, because anybody that's watching these guys on YouTube that talk about crypto, 9 out of 10 out of them, they're pumping their bags. They're showing their links. They're giving you like the most basic level TA. Like, you'll probably get better TA listening to like Wasabi or Wales or Gerardo or somebody, or Ben Cohen. Like, you get better TA from the actual TA people than you would from them. So just, I don't know, steer clear of that content, if you ask me. It's fun to, like, I used to watch like a bunch of different gurus on YouTube back in 2018 during the bear market, because what it was for me was signal. So like, I'll watch for something in a trend across multiple channels, and then pick up an idea from it, and then I could make a trade idea off that.
Yeah, for sure. That's
beyond
smart,
Beyond that, though, I mean, you shouldn't be looking at these guys as truth speakers, because I don't think they are. No, and I think that was kind of the main point you were trying to make.
And in the real world, it's like, dude, it's kind of like we almost get it confused, like the Twitter verse and the world versus the real world. It's like, if you're a man and you make a mistake, you do something, or you said something and you're gonna admit you're wrong, at least just you come out and you say that, and then you admit it, and then you move on from it. But it's when these guys stay in the middle and they're like not being completely saying good, it's not bad, and it's almost like, dude, maybe that's okay on the internet or whatever, but dude, in the real world, that's not how things work. Like, things have to get at least that's how a man should be. He should settle whatever he's got going on and move on from there. And it's almost like, like, I just don't like him kind of wavering back and forth, and then it don't really matter in the end. It's whatever. But in the little, that's what I don't like about it. Like, dude, if you made a mistake or you called something wrong, come out and say it, and then move on, and we'll be fine. But they're not like that. Yeah,
no, that's it. And again, man, and that's my thing, right? And I understand your point, Axis, and it's valid. And luckily for you, you happen to be watching that loser, and you happen to find Richard Hart, because I understand that perspective as well. I didn't find Richard Hart like that. When I found Richard Hart, there was like nobody really doing that type of shit back in the day for crypto. So it was easy to find him, right? Because I'm talking about pre-2017 type shit. Or whenever he started streaming, there was like really not a lot of people streaming. So it was easy to find him for me. But when you were found, when it was your time, I understand why you were like, nah, fuck that, bro. You're not hearing me. And I got you. But the issue
That
is
wick up to 13. That's sick.
but
Sorry
the
to
issue,
interrupt.
you good, bro. But the issue is that when somebody, and it's like Hesitant just said, when you make an error, there's nothing wrong with making an error. We all human, right? It's okay. But you got to own up to it and just correct it and keep it moving. You're not improving by doing that. You're not setting up your viewers for success by not doing that either. So all you're doing is, you continue to propel that character to continue to be what he is. I'm not gonna promote that shit. I don't give a fuck what he's done for who. Not gonna promote it because all you're doing is leading people into a fire. Fuck that. Doesn't matter what factors might apply. Like, people need to stop wasting their time giving these people a platform, because all they're doing is misguiding people by providing misinformation. And that's why you said, well, yeah, people shouldn't be watching these clowns. They should be at least watching XYZ. And that's correct. Don't watch no clowns. And that's basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to drill down and figure out, the mission of a lot of this channel is to show people a route to success, no matter what.
Correct.
If it's finance or if it's
whatever,
personal
gardening,
well-being, or
doesn't matter. Whatever your
flipping
success is,
whatever it is, like, how Hexadenday's got some skills is all I'm saying. And we're not here to like try to waste people's time. Like, I always like to try to value add. These streams do get long, but it's because you don't know if we're talking to an expert that's been listening to us for 10 weeks or somebody that's just tuning in for the first time. So that's a lot of times why you get these back and forth debates on things. So, but it's definitely good, and I think we're getting a lot done. I've met a lot of people now face to face that I know that it's not gone unappreciated. So
yeah, no, for sure.
I know we've said things that could have made people a lot of money. No, a lot of money. And not only that, but yeah, uncomfortable too. Like, we talk, you get into the deep politics.
Yeah, we cover all ranges here.
Yeah.
We get you paid and we get you woke. But for real though,
the click gets you in the door.
Word.
So,
I mean, it's important stuff, right? I think while our conversations are pretty rangy, I feel like we talk about a lot of important things, right?
Yeah, it's all kind of ties together at some point.
This is a great comment by the Sabbath, because this is true.
They won't ban something they can tax.
Why else would they try to ban crypto? Because they can't. This is making me realize some things.
They're not trying to ban it in that document, are they? They're just trying to regulate the shit out of it, from my understanding.
That's basically banning it, bro. I'm sorry. That's what's going to happen. That's basically what that is. When you're trying to make every single nexus of the system comply to some unreasonable legislative process that's going to bankrupt them, that's what you're doing. You're eliminating the industry, bro.
Did you go into that in the early part of the segment?
Yeah.
I didn't really. I mean, do you just want to give me like give me like a 1 minute cap of what you think, what was all in there? Like, what was the meat and potatoes of what's bad about that bill?
Everything is bad about the bill. They're trying to literally force legislative procedures on entities that have no business having them in the first place. So, okay, let me explain. What the hell am I saying? Because I've been reading shit forever that's legal. All they're trying to do is make the process of existing so onerous. Like in New York, there is no crypto entity here, rarely, if any. I think there might be like 2, because of the so-called bit license. And all the bit license is a way for them to say who can play and who cannot. So this is them doing the same thing all over again. And the thing about it is that they're going to make it onerous to a point that guess who can play? Only the people that would allow you to do what they want you to do with the money.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, no.
Where does open source software fall into that?
Into everything, bro. They don't give a shit.
So they're trying to. That's fucking great. There's no way.
Yeah.
They're trying to take back free speech again, or what?
Yes.
Well,
In fact,
yeah,
go ahead.
one of the
Go
main
ahead.
one of the main things, it was there was some KYC stuff involved, but they were going to change the verbiage to where I'm pretty sure companies like MetaMask or even like all the DEXs and everything, they have to be registered as brokers, which brings on this other regulation, or they changed the wording to where all these people are going to be classified as brokers. So basically any DEX, any wallets, I mean, even a company's ability like MetaMask to allow you to get a wallet without no AML KYC stuff, and they want to, and they also have a swap function in there. So basically regulate it, like Will said, to the point of where it's not even usable, or to it's such a burden that your ability to make a profit off of it is shrunk down. Like, you know, and but it seemed like almost every route, all the things that we use, whether it's a DEX or a centralized DEX even, or any of these things. And look, I understand that there is some regulation that probably should be there just to actually protect people, like for things where people are being harmed. Like, but you can't.
One thing we have to understand, Bryce. I understand the thought, but don't cross that bridge, because the problem is that once you open that door, you can't close it. That's why we're living in the world we're living in today. We have to realize this. I understand what you're saying, but no, people need to be fucking educated. They need to read a fucking book. They need to understand what the fuck is going on. You can't rely on motherfuckers for the rest of your life. Unless you're 80 or fucking under 5, you should be doing some things for yourself. I'm sorry. Like, you just got to get over that hump, brother. Like, I understand the need, right? But look, when somebody does a transaction with you and you say, hey, I'll give you this for that, you should be astute enough to understand that the transaction should happen in tandem. Or say like this is pretty common, right? When in crypto specifically, you'll find somebody trying to do a deal with you, but they'll send you to some exchange that's not even a real exchange. Mm-hmm. And it turns out you can't even get your money out, right? Like, I've seen that trap before. And like, it's all of these things that you can't regulate that, bro. Like, the internet is unregulatable, and we just have to understand that. Look at what exists on the internet, bro. Think about it. All kind of crazy shit exists on the internet. You ever seen that Dave Chappelle skit about the internet?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Don't forget it. Look at the look on your face. Don't forget it.
But if you really want to look at but you're exactly right though, because it's almost like this boa constrictor that it doesn't squeeze that tight at first. It's like, oh no, it's fine, it's just a little bit, but this whole time it doesn't stop squeezing until eventually it's like, and just go if you want to see how they run stuff, because like I said, dude, I work alongside them hand in hand, so I know how it's a circus in the government. Just go look at the DMV, or like go look at anything that's ran by some of these really bad states or the government, and you see what they do to it. I mean, they make the easiest things the most complicated things you could think of. You know what I mean? So it's like, like you said, once they get a little foothold, it's almost like we can't, and there's no need to. I mean, they're saying that we don't have the ability, we're not smart enough, we're not all these things free enough to transact with one another.
The best was when they said minorities couldn't get an ID. And shout out to HEX Flex. Thank you for the super chat, brother. My wife and I were debating who should be on Mount Rushmore. Okay, I didn't read this before I clicked on it. You out of control, bro. RH, me, or Satoshi and Steph Curry. That's funny. Yeah, this is funny. Unless Wales is Matt Damon. Yeah, I'm not. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Yeah, guys, it's funny. Oh man, people are hilarious, man.
Man, the crypto market looks hot right now. 45K BTC, 3,200 ETH, $1.50 ADA, Litecoin's 160.
They're pumping it, baby. I got Nomics open. Let's look at it. They're pumping.
Doge is 28 cents, or wick to 28 cents. That's surprising.
They got tired of looking at that downtrend. They said, "Well, all these broke motherfuckers at." They came up in here with that, and I showed you guys this before. Richard Hart sent a tweet out about it earlier today. So there you go. They're pumping it. Once you see the volume greater than the actual market cap, that means that new money exists in the system. Right?
It just
Yeah,
means
and
a
it
lot of
shouldn't-
trading, doesn't it?
They're inflating it. They're adding dollars that don't exist.
Well,
AKA
I mean,
printing
imagine. No, not necessarily.
Well, if you got more than what exists, yeah. You can't
Well,
have
no,
more than what
just
exists,
the
bro.
same dollar could trade twice, and that could be counted as
Nah,
$2
no, no, no,
of
no, no,
value.
no, 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 no. That's called wash trading, bro. Check this out. There's a reason anywhere else you look, the dollar value is less than the market cap. It should never be more. Never, ever. Should always, always be a percentage. It should never be more. That's a clear sign of manipulation. Clear.
Well,
It's not
yeah,
even a
you can go.
guess.
Like Tether has a bot, and it's like you can go see how often they print it, and that thing just it prints.
Look at
a lot. They
every
just
market.
print it.
Like it's a percentage. None of it is greater than. It should not be. I'd be surprised if we find another USD like that, because Tether
Well,
is the one.
I'm just thinking from the perspective of like, so if $60 billion of Tether traded hands, and then and as it was trading hands, then the price topped, and a bunch of people sold back into Tether. Then the same Tethers that was, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just
Yeah, I know you're
traded-
thinking that they're counting it 2 times, but they can't. Because here's the thing: you can only count one trade as one trade, and that dollar value is gonna be real. You know what I'm saying? So they can't count it twice. Like that should be real value that's transacting, not
I thought volume was just like an overall number of dollars traded. It could be the same dollar got
We're
traded
talking
5
about-
times in one day, and that would be $5.
This is counting dollar volume, not unit volume. Don't get those confused. You can have multiple units trading back and forth, right? But the dollar volume has to be real. You get what I'm saying?
No, I'm totally. I don't. To me, in my mind,
It's the same thing. Yeah,
It should be.
it should be the same thing. That's right.
If it doesn't matter if there's 60 billion tethers and the same if 120 billion dollars of tether got traded that day, that's just the same dollars got traded twice.
So let me ask you this: how does Tether work?
It's supposed to be backed 1-to-1 to a dollar.
Yeah, but we know it's not. So
Well, it don't
how does
matter.
it work?
It's all I'm saying is, you could say the only thing that, yeah. So in the real economy, yeah, there's like trillions of dollars. So of course, not all trillion of the dollars could
But
be
that's the point, bro.
accounted
That's the whole
for
point.
and or used.
But that's
in
the
one
whole
day.
point. That's the whole
But
point.
all
That's
of the
the problem
dollar-
with the fiat
That's
system.
why I'm saying that that these stable coins are that useful. That's what I'm saying. People
Oh
are
no, I
using the
get
shit-
that.
shit out of these
Yeah.
things.
No, you're right about that, bro. That's a fact. Yeah. So okay, hold on, because we went over this. I thought purely peer-to-peer.
We did, but all I'm
version-
saying is that with the volume is that
No.
it's the
I'm
same-
agreeing with you. Yeah, but the thing about it is, I don't think you can double count a transaction. That defeats the purpose of crypto, right? Because this is saying peer-to-peer without an intermediary, and the thing is that this.
Oh no, I wasn't arguing that. I was just.
Oh
arguing that it was
no.
useful.
I'm just talking about this being inflated. Like
Yeah.
that's a clear sign of manipulation, right? And it's to the point where you only got 31. Assuming I don't know where they're pulling this data from. Here we go.
Well, and unlike a centralized exchange, it could be the same guy. Like it's a lot more easily manipulated on this centralized exchanges in the order book, isn't it?
Yeah.
'Cause
So
it could just be going back and forth.
Yeah, because the thing about crypto is a little unique.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying. Is
In most cases, no, but check it. In most cases, right? When you're talking about an exchange, like say a Binance, we know a Binance has their own pairs. They don't. There's nothing, decentralized about what you're trading on Binance. If you're trading a Binance pair, meaning a Binance contract, you're trading their instrument. A lot of people don't understand that. They think they're actually trading Bitcoin or whatever. No, you're trading their shit. That's why you get scam wicked. That's why it's called the scam wick, because you got fucking played because you're trading their shit, not a decentralized contract. That's not what you're trading. You're trading in their game and they control it. So if you trade in BNB or you own it, that's not a crypto. That's a security. Whether you realize it or not, that's on you. But that's exactly what that is, because that is something that is controlled by another entity. It even says it in the name. because you know that Binance is not just a coin by itself. It's an infrastructure type situation, just like Ethereum. You know, Ethereum had to be allowed to exist. I don't know if you remember that, Axis.
Oh, I remember there was in 18. It was like a whole debate about is Ethereum a security or not? Yeah,
that's right.
But if you talk to Wasabi about that, he thinks that pretty much all cryptos at some point in their story were a security at some point.
All except HEX.
And that literally, and that literally, it's all been swept under the rug just to get the space, pushed out and able to be, out
that
there
is correct. Yeah. Look at Cardano. How the fuck is Cardano not a security? It's complete promise coin. Complete promise coin. You just pop a champagne bottle over there, bro.
No shit.
And shout out to Matt Kelly for the $5 super chat, brother. Sorry if I missed your question earlier. Just keep repeating it, man. I'm sorry. I'm just not good with the chat. Don't be giving me super chats to get me to answer your questions, please. Because I have yet to even take a single dollar from this shit. So stop giving me your money. So I can actually cash some of this shit out. I don't know if I'm ever gonna see this shit. I don't know. So if they can block you from purchasing on an exchange, what's a backdoor to get USD into crypto? Well, the only backdoor I know is a decentralized entry, and that's assuming you can actually trade on a transact or a ramp, for example. Let's see, crypto on ramp.
Well, and a lot of people use VPNs, for instance. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To where if certain things aren't
if it picks up your address,
area.
If like for me, for example, because I live in New York, I have to be able to use a out-of-state address.
Mm-hmm.
Because it won't let me do shit just because I'm in New York, and it picks that up. Even if I'm using a VPN, it's gonna pick up my bank address because I'm using my bank card.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So here's one on ramp or off ramp, right? And I think they even got code. Maybe I'll set some up on my site. A little on ramp for the community. Who fucking knows? I don't fucking know. Seems to be some code in here. There we go. Oh, I think I can pull this off.
And there's been a lot of I can hear a lot of clicking too in the background off and on. I don't know what it is. I think it's a mouse clicking a lot. Someone's going ham on a mouse.
Not me. It might be Axis. You know what? We've been going so long. I'm not gonna do chart sets today, bro. I'm gonna just do a chart set video. It's been going pretty long, so I'll just do that instead.
So yeah, that's kind of one of the next hurdles. Even Richard was talking about. That's in his next few things he's gonna do is or try to do, whether it's at exchange or having an on ramp.
Right.
It would be really cool to have this whole ecosystem where like Ramp or these other companies transact, and it's like
not a big deal.
No, as long as those companies and stuff can operate freely, you know what I mean, and still offer that service, and the credit card processors are still going to process the payments, because that's one thing on from what I understand about the bank transfers, why they take 5 days. They could push those through quicker. I mean, they have a Visa and all these, they have a super fast processing abilities, but that's on an exchange, you got to wait 5 days to get your coins, whereas on a Wire or a Transact or these ones, you can move them, they come in your possession, they bang the credit card, it goes through, transacts, and you can do whatever, whereas the centralized exchanges can't move it for 5 days. I mean, that in itself I hate that about them, but it's almost like a necessary evil, at least right at this second, other than those few ones that you mentioned,
Yeah. And this is just a comment I want to highlight by my boy Johnny. That's way to have a shout out to you, brother. BOA blocked his account until he told them what he was buying. They said your money goes in after seconds is moved to uphold. What the fuck? So they took his money and then did the transaction process, basically.
Dude,
so,
that's the stuff that we need to start thinking about, because literally this happened to me. I went in, was getting 10 grand out, and I was like, hey, I need 10 grand. They're like, oh, what are you doing? What do you need it for? Are you sure you want to, they basically start this weird thing, oh, well, we might, I think, I don't even know if we have that much right now. Hold on. And it's like, they basically.
This is a juicy topic, actually, because it's so annoying. And I've had so many annoying problems with banks, with crypto.
I'm like, dude, I'll just
Yep.
shut this whole thing down. If I can't even get this much, what if I want?
Literally, like my whole, you know what? And one of the biggest, you know, busting through the pipe and get like when you're not in, you're no coiner coming in, that's the biggest hurdle, is just getting your banks to work with you on this shit.
Yep. Because they don't give a fuck. It's their system.
Well, they
they want to make sure you can't escape.
Well, that's built in, but it's all protections to make sure you're not hurting yourself. There's all these like safety rails on legacy finance so that you're not hurting yourself. Well, why didn't we educate the kids from like grade school about this shit rather than put safety rails as adults and not give them no direction? Like,
correct.
Everything was like, there was no planning at all.
No.
Like, you teach your society how to do things right early on. So what we're saying to you right now is, welcome to class. Get your hex stakes in. Get yourself some hex.
So check it out, guys. Why do you even want to listen to us, right? Because who the fuck are we?
Exactly.
And I qualify. So look, if you're new and you never heard me before, I qualify myself in my first video that I've ever made. But just so you guys know, I've literally spent 13 years learning this game. Because after high school, I joined the military and I was in Iraq and Afghanistan, and I just didn't understand what the fuck we were doing out there. And all of that led me to learn all this crazy shit that I'm now teaching you guys. Oh, Changelly is a good spot to buy crypto. If you guys haven't been to Changelly, that's a good place if a bank is messing with you. Or they won't. Hold on a second. Let me see.
Yeah, use a VPN. And you should be able to use Changelly.
Yeah, but the problem is a bank card. Yeah, I remember that. Because when you put in your state in the U.S., it matters. Like, watch. See, if I put in New York.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
See? State not supported.
Yeah, that's always been weird to me how there's like a couple states that you can't.
Because New York doesn't allow it. It's illegal in New York. I shouldn't even be owning Hex. It's illegal as fuck over here. I'm knee deep in this shit. Fuck them.
That's weird.
Yeah. Fuck they gonna do? Tell me no? And that's my whole point. I'm literally doing what they already said I can't do. And now the feds are trying to say we can't do. Well, good luck to them is what I fucking say. Because I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. Now, I got a good question that I want to touch on here. How do stablecoins even work? Great question. But if you are, as you guys can see, you can sell crypto, you can buy crypto, and swap crypto here on Changelly. So check them out. It's a good on-off ramp if you're able to, use the shit. Most of us can't.
Dude, it'd be cool is like a MetaMask replacement with a place where you can directly put debit card and you get Hex directly into it.
I wish I could come up with a wallet, bro. I wish I had the coding skills to do that shit. I've been looking. I'm thinking about stealing MetaMask shit and just hiring somebody to add some shit to it or something.
Yeah, I mean, Staker, is pretty close to that. It's just you still have to use these third
Staker
party
works a certain way,
systems.
right?
Yeah,
that's the thing. Staker works a certain way. The thing I'm thinking will work differently. I'm not thinking like their shit is very unique in how it works. I'm thinking more something like MetaMask, but with different functionalities, like you highlighted. More easy for us to use because people try to hide Hex because they be hating, bro.
Oh yeah, and that's like, dude, we have the best store value in Hex. It's like what Richard says, that we're gonna have the best network, fastest network, cheapest to transact on network. And we only need a few more things, and you have an ecosystem that's basically indestructible, barring a solar flare, some crazy event. You know what I mean? Just something crazy. But having that, it's like we only got a couple pieces to the puzzle, but it's I could see that. I could see what it can actually evolve into, and it's dude, it's going to be amazing. And these problems or these things that we're getting angry about, talking about, these propel you to look for solutions. And when you have like a group of people thinking about solutions that has the means to it, what happens? We see breakthroughs. We go around people. We do whatever we're going to do to succeed and to take over. So that's just, that's what's taking place right now. So
Yep. It's an all out assault, and this bill is their way of trying to get back at us for coming at them. That's really all it is, guys. I mean, you got to understand, you making the right choice is what's making them act in this way. And here's something I want to highlight also, since we're talking about on and off ramps, and we're about to dive into stable coins. You guys got to understand that, you make the determination, right, of what it is that you use. It is nobody else. Okay. And another thing, the main reason I don't really touch on and off ramps in a general sense is because, as you can see, it's very jurisdictional. What that means is very specific to where you live. So if you live somewhere like Portugal, you have no problems probably accessing anything crypto. Whereas, as you can see, I can't even use Changely. So you see my point. So these
have you ever tried using Ramp?
Yeah, can't use it. Can't use none of that because I'm in New York.
Can't use any of that, huh?
Nope. Watch. Let's go back to the search.
I was able to use Ramp, and it's awesome because your crypto shows up right away, but you do have to call your bank and like let them know that you're doing one of those transactions.
yeah, I've never had an issue with mine. I've used most of them. I haven't used Ramp actually, but the Wire and Transact and all those. The only thing is that you need to have your bank app like be able to open it, because they send you these 2 dummy transactions, or they send you a 6-digit code laid into your basically where your debit transactions would be. So you have to open your bank app. So that means you have to have a bank app and a bank that has an app and all these things to where, so that's a hurdle for some people. If you guys are ever using these things, that there's a little process on the 2-step verification, and a lot of it does it through your bank app to be able to get the code and put it back in. So
important information, actually. Very important. Here we go. Kindly note that we do not provide services to the following states. So if you live in these 3 beautiful states,
what's going on with Nebraska? Seems like a
fucking I know, bro. Yeah, I don't fucking know.
Oh, God.
Shit is bad weird, bro. I don't get it. But they do provide service in all these other beautiful places. Oh, I fucking hate New York.
What happened in New York, man?
It's a shit show, bro. Wall Street, bro. That's what happened to it. What do you mean?
Oh my gosh.
It's a fucking shit show out here, man. It's a fucking shit show. Why the fuck you think I'm mad, bro? I've seen New York. Yo, ever since 9/11, New York has been torn down. Building by building, block by block, business by business. Really? It's been a slow decimation of the small business community in New York. The rents go up no matter what. Even if there is no demand, they don't drop. And that's what we just saw with COVID. The rents dropped somewhat, but if you walk around the city, you see complete desolation. These rents should be down 50% at a minimum, and they're not. Crazy. So how do stable coins work? Well, it's basically just math, man. They're supposed to be backed by some stuff called collateral, and that collateral is typically worth whatever amount of fiat stable coins exist. And that's usually not the case.
Yeah, there's different kinds of stable coins, actually.
Yeah, there's different kinds of stable coins too, but they all,
In the case of Tether, somebody with a key just prints them, and there's supposed to be a certain amount of those dollars in a bank account somewhere that matches 1-to-1 with the number of coins they printed. That's like level 1 stable coin. Level 2 stable coin would be like a DAI.
Leave it to Axis. Go ahead, man. Sorry.
It's like the DAI stable coin is like one that's based on collateral, like Wales was saying, but it's all virtualized through the MakerNet token. People collateralize their stuff. That creates them a position. Then they're
part of the
given
supply.
a bunch of DAI. They mint their own DAI, and then they spread that out. And so it's just a virtualized form of the same thing, more or less.
Cool.
Yeah.
What about that ample forth joke?
Ample forth. Oh shit. Tier 3 stablecoin.
Exactly.
This is self. It's self changes. It's a algorithmic stablecoin, so that it modifies the amount of tokens based on the price. So if the price goes up 100%, it'll match the supply so that it goes back to neutral, right? So that if the supply doubles, or the supply will double if the price doubles. So that way it always tries to stay stable there in parity with $1.
Right.
You know, but then there's these like little arbitrations that you can do in between, like before that move is calculated and this and that on those coins. But so they're not really in quote stable. It's like the most stable thing, I don't know, it's probably Tether, probably the most stable right now. But even that's had a couple hiccups in the past. Yeah, USDC is pretty good.
Where is my?
Yeah, you see these. If the algorithmic stable coins mess up, it's like catastrophic.
Yeah.
Really, yeah. Especially if there's protocols and stuff that they're using, and if they're the main token, all this stuff, it can turn really bad.
It's way riskier than even just holding Bitcoin, and you know, risking that price volatility would be some of these crazy. These collateralized stablecoins. That's happened with Maker before, where they've lots of positions get liquidated. People lose tons of ETH. It's not a good thing.
Yeah,
so be careful with that.
There's one. It was called Fee or Fay or something like that. It was, you know, multi-billion-dollar thing, but in their protocol, all the people that were using I think they had a lending protocol. Something was up where they, you know, people were using it, and it dropped to like 70 cents or 80 cents or something, and it wrecked a lot of people. I think they're still wrecked. It's sad. I think it's a cool maybe idea, but the people that make them, you know, they need to really test this stuff out and get it audited. You know what I mean? It's almost like they need it to make sure, you know, because this is a lot of money people are dealing with too. You don't want to be losing any of it.
Yep. That's a fact. I mean, look at this Tether. Look at how volatile it is. It's just crazy. It always ranges between like 9995 and 1.001. That's not $1. If you're moving millions of dollars, that's just gonna piss you the fuck off. So yeah, it's a little funky.
But I guess what would be interesting is what triggers Tether or the company, or whoever gets them to print it or to print these digits. You know, what makes them print more? Like, is it a backdoor deal where they're like, hey, we need like 100 million to print it, and you know, whatever, or if they're on like a time, are they on a time thing? Do they go by, you know, it seems like you said though, the Tether volume just will jump up like crazy whenever you see these pumps, either before or after. So it'd be interesting to know what is the signal that triggers them to, okay, we're going to send more out into the market, and who do they, you know, are they just getting the money back from a bank, and then, you know what I mean? It'd be kind of interesting to know, because we don't really know, I guess.
You'll never find out. I don't think we're ever going to find out.
Yeah. They're not going to be like, all right, this is the reason we said print some more dollars and take away some more dollars. I think it's really more of a tap on the shoulder situation where somebody wants it printed and somebody wants it taken away. That's what I think it is.
We'll never know if Richard does an OTC deal with somebody big. We'll never know.
Yeah.
Fine by me. Fine by me.
Yeah, there was so many. Dude, I was thinking, I'm like, I've ran into so many people like that had issues just being able to get their fiat into crypto. And it was like, man, this would be so easy if I just had HEX and a desk, and here it is. And
give me the Venmo.
Yeah, it's like, man,
or the Snapchat or whatever the fuck, whatever people use. Zelle or whatever.
Yeah, instead of jumping through like getting set up and doing all, because I do it for people constantly throughout the week. So it's like from start to finish of what type of account with usually Coinbases, unless they're going to, because especially if you want more than $5,000 in or something like that, you know what I mean? These wire and transact and stuff, they don't allow you to do. They do like $500 limits, a lot of them. So it's you know, man, this needs to be streamlined. It'd be help, not more regulated. It needs to be more streamlined.
Yeah, it needs to be less of a clunky situation. Like, people not being able to interact with the system. That's fucked. So,
Yeah, and I've used Paxful before. It's just you got to deal with the selfies and whether the guy even sends you the coins,
God.
and I've done it before, but it's like, man, it's just it's not it's introducing middlemen like we talk about all the time.
Right.
Works like magic. Yeah.
Accurate. Oh man, too funny. Yeah, this is a fact. I can attest to that. I've seen it in so many different forms. It's not even fucking funny. That's a fact, not an opinion.
Yeah, and they were I think I don't know if it was just California or another state where someone just made a comment about if you withdraw more than 10,000 at a time dollars, they report it like they have to report it, and they were trying to lower that in this bill that was introduced, not this one we're talking about, but it was one before. It did get struck down, but it was going to lower that limit to like it was under $1,000, I'm pretty sure, to where basically anytime you even sold a little bit of anything, it's like crypto. Because a lot of time, you could do multiple sales that are not 10,000. You could do under that. So, but yeah, if they start dropping that limit and stuff, it's they're required to, submit
Look
it.
at
So it's
this.
like,
Hold on. Look at this. Well, look what's been rampant with Bitcoin.
Jeez. You're talking about printing Tether. Oh, God.
What the fuck? This is where the US dollar goes when you buy food. Wow. Oh, you love that, don't you? You guys enjoy that. I just fucked your head up, didn't I? I know. What's going on, Austin? Thank you for tuning in, brother. Yeah, man. 9/11 was fucked up. I'm still mad about that. My mom used to actually work in Twin Towers. Luckily, I got kicked out of school the year before, or a couple years before 9/11. So we moved out of state, and that's the only reason she was not near those towers that day. But she used to work there.
that's wild.
Yep.
And then building 7 is a whole, you know what
Free
I mean?
fall.
All that stuff. It's like,
Free
okay.
fall.
I see what we
Complete
got going
free
on here.
fall, dude. Complete motherfucking free. I mean, Building 7 was nowhere near the Twin Towers.
No, it was a third one. Some people don't even know there was the third one.
Yeah. It was completely off to the side, like like across the street. Like, how the fuck did that even happen? Type shit. Like, it makes no sense. But whatever. Let's not even go down that route. But yeah. So we've just confirmed the inevitable. I kind of agree there. A little bit more than that, though. Culture critique is a little bit more. But yes, partially yes. Interestingly enough, dollar up, Bitcoin up, ETH BTC up, ETH way up. Interesting.
What is Ethereum at? Like 3,000 still or more?
3,150. The last time I saw it, it was below 3,100.
So, are we going to get into whether this is a bull trap or not?
Yeah, it is. It's confirmed by the dollar moving up. That's how you know it's a bull trap. Dollar should be going down, not up.
They shouldn't be going up at the same time.
No,
right?
No, they should not. Because you should be seeing an exchange of fiat for crypto. That's not what you're seeing. You're seeing an additional chunk of crypto being bought by additional chunks of fiat. That's what this chart is showing. Because where else is the demand coming from for USDC or for dollars, right? Same difference. Because they're all moving in tandem.
Yeah, I mean, find the chart that's going down right now. What is it?
Let's see. What chart is going down? Euro, of course, because dollar's going up. Whatever this is, GRT, HEX BTC is going down. So HEX is going down versus both Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Like more macro. What's causing this dollar? I mean, this was all just
Oh, you mean what's causing this dollar to go up?
Yeah.
Let's check the rates. I think rates are going up.
Yeah.
Yep. 10 years up was all the way down to 1.12 or 1.13, almost on 1.2. 1.127%. And this is pretty significant. Oops, sorry guys. This is pretty significant because interest rates are the value of money in the fiat system. So when interest rates go down, money gets cheaper. More of it floods the system. So when the interest rate goes up, that means there's less dollars in the system. Right? So we got less dollars in the system, apparently. But what it really means is that you got more people buying dollars because the interest rate is going up. So what happens is kind of like, no, it's nothing like that. It's kind of like people chasing yield, right? People are going to chase yield because now the dollar's paying a little bit more interest than wherever they had their money before. So they're going to come in, they're going to pay for that dollar. And, in this case, that dollar happens to be a U.S. government treasury bond, right? That's paying 1.3%. But the thing about it is this. That's just a measure for the 10-year rate. The Fed fund rate is still only at 0.8% or 0.08, 0.08%. All right. So that hasn't really gone anywhere. It's up from 0.06%, right? So it's only gone up 0.02%. So from an overnight cash perspective, not really that attractive. So let's look at 2 years. 2 years is up significantly relative to what it usually moves like in a short period of time. So, you got the big repo happening, right? The reverse repo happening right now also. So that's going to also affect interest rates, right? And we only know that the repos on average are less than 90 days. We don't actually know what's out there. You know what I mean? Unless you're like digging deep and you're able to get your hands on that data, you don't actually know what repos are out there, whether they're long-term, short-term. Maybe this is a function of the reverse repos that are still happening, right? Maybe this is why interest rates, while they went down at first, are finally snapping higher. We never know, right? Because maybe now these entities are being forced to sell their treasury collateral that they've received from this reverse repos to meet their obligations. Because we must remember that the system of money is a transfer mechanism. It's not linear, right? So just because something is happening at this point in time and you're not seeing it on the chart doesn't mean it's not happening. It takes time for money to travel from A to B. Unfortunately, it's not instant. And sometimes there's a few steps, right? So with understanding that, right, while I think the 1 trillion repo might have been back here somewhere, right? It took these guys this long to be able to sell that asset to the point that it caused this move. Because the thing you have to understand, we're looking at interest rates because this is part of the high quality collateral bucket of what these guys are allowed to use as collateral when they lever up their books. And that's pretty much all it is. So odds are that these guys are just selling their paper because they can get cash for it right now, because this is literally the most liquid market in legacy finance, or at least it used to be. I don't know if it still is. I know when I left it alone, it was kind of being very illiquid, and it was a big issue. By the look of these spikes, it kind of looks like it is, but whatever. I don't really know, so never mind. But long story short, this could just be, a function of all of that, right? And this is why they decided to pump the dollar and pump risk assets, right? Because they needed to, because people are selling collateral assets. They have to. Right? If not, the system goes RE, right? Let's look at what's going on. The legacy side, crude is down. It's consolidating. Dollar is up, as we talked about earlier. E-mini all-time motherfucking highs, right? Go fuck yourself. Copper up there, floating near the highs of 4.875. Lumber way down after being way up.
Yeah, that's
right?
crazy.
And sorry, man. I'm sure you dealt with this, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's heavily it's kind of the same story. It's basically centralized. I work with the sometimes with the second largest kind of a contract with the second largest landowner in America. That
Right.
is the number two timber seller in America, and the number one. But yeah, there's basically just 2 or 3 companies that run the whole show.
Right.
So I mean, they could make what this chart looks like. They can make it look any type of way. And as we're going into the future, we haven't seen the worst of it. It's this is
That's a start.
just a small reprieve. Yeah, that was just a kind of a flash showing you what we're gonna head into.
AKA get long lumber if you're watching and you trade futures. Fuck. That's crazy.
How low even is it right now? It's
$551. I forget what the measurement is. Jesus.
Yeah, that's pretty low.
Yeah, that's pretty low for what it was.
And that doesn't necessarily tell you what you're gonna go pay at Home Depot or Lowe's. You know what I mean?
This is the wholesale market. This is what the guys that buy the plywood at the the wholesale yards or whatever the hell they are. This is what they're paying. You're not paying this. All right, hold on, guys.
This looks like it might level out here on lumber.
Yeah, I think so as well. This little gap here typically means it's not going to touch that, and futures is pretty respect this market profile stuff very, very well.
Yeah,
and then you also have a nice.
Last year, it makes sense. Like you're gonna get a little bit off that TWAP that was like all the trading volume before, and just get off that and make a gap, and then just start a whole new floor.
Yep.
Hey, and one thing people should know, I don't know what everyone heard, but there was no shortage. There's never been a shortage. There's literally no shortage. So, if that's what you're hearing,
no, I don't know how many ways you said the same thing. That was super funny.
It's like, yeah, by the way, we had all the fucking lumber the whole time.
Like, it was actually in my backyard, bro. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was literally no shortage. It was just me.
No comment.
Bryce was flipping lumber out of his backyard.
Oh, shit, man. Look, so I was asked a question about just that, which is interesting. I can't believe I'm talking about lumber. This is crazy. So shout out to Vibra. Hope you guys are doing well up north. What do you think can cause a supply shock in the near future? And to be honest with you, headlines and people manipulating logistical supply routes. That's it, because that's what's happened. That's what happened last year in 2020. That's what's been happening this whole time. How do you think that you weren't getting alcohol and all this hygiene shit? You think it just disappeared? No, they stopped that shit, man. They were like, nah, let's make these motherfuckers think this shit is real. Stop all this shit. I mean, people were buying toilet paper like it was going out of style. I have no idea why. I still don't know.
Yeah.
I've never.
I don't think that was all consumer purchase. I think.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that was
buying some in the beginning, but then somehow there was some.
I think that was all manufactured. Honestly, all manufactured, in my opinion.
So was Big Pharma and like the lumber industry like in bed together or what?
I'm just trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Lumber's been ripping since the COVID dip, so I don't know. And then it took a dip again in late 2020, right around before November, early November, and it ripped from there, man.
Pandemic.
From like 450.
Just imagine. I mean, there's only so many seats at the table. Each seat is given to a guy that's the head of that the infrastructure, whether it's lumber, steel, food, all these things. And it's all in their best interest. They've made more money than ever. So as long as they can all they don't necessarily have to get along, but yeah, I mean, these are mega corps, multi-billion dollar corporation. And it's like, they all profited more than ever this last year. So that should tell you something about
for sure.
the status of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, the issue is that they have all the outlets for information So it seems like it's real, but it's not, right? It's kind of like I'm never gonna forget this. Last year, you would see all these retarded scenes where they would make all these people look like they was dying and all this shit, right? And then all of a sudden, you got all these motherfucking TikToks of motherfuckers dancing in the hallway.
Yeah. It's literally like the Wizard of Oz, you know what I mean? Like the dude's behind the curtain, and once you like lift the curtain up, it's like, oh, this dude's just like magnifying all this stuff. And that's how small groups of people control large groups of people. It's been that way for a long time. So figure it out. It's every industry. They're all just lumber industry is no different than all of them. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right. I mean, imagine if things functioned like, you know, it was real. Imagine, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. Yep. It's crazy, man.
So how high do you think, moving back to like Bitcoin and Ethereum, how high do you think, because I was kind of seeing, we're judging the bull trap off of what happened in 2018, and you know, they hit certain price ranges where it would make sense for the bull trap to be up a little in higher price ranges than it happened before. So what do you think about the like the price ranges on this? How high do you think Ethereum, and because you know, I don't have a whole lot on it, but Bitcoin, like how high can this bull trap go before it actually sets, this trap actually sets?
Yeah, let's give it a good look. Let's give it a good look. This is
I don't want to just jump out and say, because I really don't.
You guys probably know.
I thought, you know, where we're at right now is like getting to be decision time. Like we got here pretty quick to like the mid 40s on BTC, and then, you know, north of 33,000 on ETH. So, I mean, that's really good progress, but I don't know. What do you think, Wales? Let's pull some charts and figure it out.
Yeah, we're looking at some charts right now, and the way it's looking, my only thing to say would be if it doesn't break new highs, it doesn't really matter how high it goes. It needs to make new highs. No doubt about it. It looks like it could, because it could be that the rotation lower could be shorter now, right? Because the system is older. It's more valuable. So in essence, the recoil should be somewhat quicker if there is more money in the system from that perspective, because that means the network effect should amplify the downward move in the same positive fashion, because the network is bigger, so it should be shorter. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that was making sense to me. I know what you're trying to say.
Like, So
there's
I'm thinking about
more money flowing. There's more transactions going on. So there's more, you know, there's more momentum to go back up with.
Right, but the bigger key is going to be what happens at the zero lines for both the RSI, or I'm sorry, the zero line for the MACD and the mid range for the RSI. That's going to be the big key, because momentum is down, right? Let's not forget that. But let's also be objective and respect the math, right? And the math is saying that what I'm saying is true. And it could be that the cycle is shorter this time around. Not thinking that's really the case, honestly, but you never, ever know. Keep your options in your mind open, right? This is how you make good decisions, is by understanding what you don't know. And I don't know if this is going to be the case. It could be that this motherfucker keeps going to 100,000. The fuck do I know? I can't tell.
I think you're gonna come up. You know, you're gonna tap like 52,000, 54,000, and then we're just gonna bleed sideways and downward for a while.
Could be, yeah. Look, I mean, look, if this trend line is true, right, and if this is just a random trend line, it means nothing. But if it's true, and let's say price does tag this area, or sorry, not price, but the MACD does tag this area, right? Well, even if it is going up, right, it's only going to go up but so high based on this momentum, right? And that could easily be just right here, and it just tap out and roll over again. Right? Like, that's important for people to understand. Like, that's why these lines are here. These lines are important to me. These lines make or break your pocket.
Yeah.
straight up. Like
That looks like a good spot to start to like, see
it's
some
near
resistance.
highs. I mean, I know I got all this shit here. Sorry, but hold on. Let me see if I
So what was what's the Ethereum all-time high? Is 39? Did it touch 4 ever?
Yeah,
it touched
over
4.
4.
Yeah, it touched 4.
Okay.
All right. Just gonna get some clean charts here. There we go.
I think in BitMEX it got to 43.85, so pretty high up there.
So it's still got a little ways to.
Still got like $1,300 or $1,200 to play with.
Yeah.
On ETH, and probably like 8 to 10,000 on BTC before you could. I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff that can happen between now and then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is where you're going to start to see some trading. The opportunity here if you are a trader. But I mean, you should have been in. From the lower price. To be honest, like my whole thing was
been
like,
hollering anyway, bitch.
yeah, you gotta always keep a core position in this stuff. If it's not Hex, it's not one of these two.
That's something I always used to struggle with, and because of that, I used to just keep separate accounts because I couldn't just trade like that. Yeah.
And what we see.
What do you mean by that?
Just keep money in separate accounts and not just keep trading in and out. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah. No lump sum shit.
Right. So let's see, what was the all-time high for Ethereum? Oh yeah, this is definitely not making new all-time highs, guys. I'm sorry. 43.73. So let me explain. This candle is dictating the current trend. Now, I know the price is currently going up right now, but that's not going to continue to be the case. Let me explain. Break this down.
Oh, yeah. That does not look healthy.
No,
not
at all.
From that perspective at all.
No, not at all. So what you're seeing here is you're just seeing that price literally ran into a wall, right? Now, how is that? Well, let's go back to the chart with all the cool stuff on it. So you have price literally skyrocket to a point where momentum was 0 and it could no longer do anything. So what that means is that the odds of price breaching this area are slim. Doesn't mean it can't, but they are slim. And we're already starting to see it in the indicators as it stands now, as we see the histogram, meaning the trend decreasing over time, or the strength of the trend decreasing over time. And then we have RSI also hitting extreme levels, right? Which is important to note. It's not so much what's happening there. A lot of the times there's so much that is just there because price is going to do what it's going to do, right? Like it could literally just reverse and just keep going higher. But you must be aware of what currently is happening because that's what actually matters. That's what's true in the market. It's what's currently on the chart, not what you think. And that's why it's important to understand that. But again, looking at price now, I'm going to break it down a little bit further to the daily because it's important to understand that every day's trading is important, right? So, yeah, price should definitely not pass this area where this little green candle is because the little green candle is the last time buyers had a chance. Last time. That's basically what that little candle that was saying. Excuse me. The last hoorah would be this low, 3,555. If it breaks that, then yeah, man, anything's possible. But until that point, not so much. So 3,600 is the number.
You can kind of look at like, okay, what is different from this 3 years ago? It's just like, is there more money? Is there more money coming in? Is there no people? Are there more users? Are there, we don't really see a whole lot. We see like some NFT stuff. We see like, so is it enough to actually push this price opposed? That's basically the bull trap case.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a good point. And
then can Ethereum get big, and can Ethereum get enough on it and people and users and people using it to where it's not so tied to Bitcoin as far as correlated? But we don't really see that
I
yet.
think it's hard for them to do that because they're so intertwined.
Yeah.
Right?
I will say
like
something to that comment. Like their ETH definitely made a move in the past few days where it moved before Bitcoin moved, and so it's actually your leading indicator right now. Kind of in its own sort of way, taking that first step, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, where it could be it's the leader. It could be the leading indicator, whereas Bitcoin was always in the past.
Right. So in my experience, between 2017 and now, I've seen a few different coins take the lead off lows or off problem resistance levels. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Those three. And maybe you could say that this year Doge kind of did some weird shit too. Like right now, Doge got sold down from 28 cents all the way back down to 26. And that's a lot right now on that price. So it's like that candle doesn't look good. It's like a gravestone right now. And it's a 6 hour. But if that's showing if that's symbolically showing like a sell weight or pressure on the market right now, that'll have some effects across your ability for people to purchase ETH or Bitcoin later down the line, because those are a lot of your people on Robinhood, Webull, stuff like that buying Doge. That's like your working class guy that's just learning about crypto, getting in and kind of like starting to DCA into these things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to look for your signal in the times, right? And with certain coins, yeah, I think ETH is on its way to like starting to move on its own and try to decorrelate. But you'll never get these things to decouple. They're just not. But over time, they'll definitely start to do their own. It's a lot better than it used to be. Definitely. They used to be all the exact same chart.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing I wanted to bring up too, that's you brought up Robinhood, which makes me think it's like one thing we do know for sure, that whoever the people that we call they, it's always like they're doing this. It's their willingness to straight up break the rules and do whatever they want with the money, regardless, right in our face. That it seems like the elite, what you would call them, is they're even more comfortable with doing it straight in your face, like stopping trades on Robinhood, like all this crazy stuff that happened with Citadel. So it's like we're seeing, it's not a good sign. It's not, you're just seeing their
like who would knowingly and willingly trade on an app like that? That's gonna admit and think it's okay to just stop your trade mid progress or whatever. Like,
correct.
I would never trade that. That's like, so from the gaming world, that's like trying to play a game where like these odds are always stacked against you and there's no fair start. Like, why would you do that? It's like,
yeah, and you don't own the coins on there either.
Double whammy, man. And you don't own anything.
You can't move. You can't move them. You can't send them.
It's the most risk for you and the least risk for them, and it's just not. Whatever. Stay away from that crap.
Yeah, seriously.
Fuck. You want to see me get mad about some shit? Stay away from shit apps and shitty legacy trading apps and all that shit.
Yeah, it's all trash, and this is why we like to stick to what's true, right?
I can't wait till we have all the stocks tokenized on a reliable backbone on a blockchain, and we can just trade them 24/7. Stocks, commodities, we can trade it all. There's no more limited market. It's always 24/7 free market.
Well, it's interesting because as you say that, I could kind of see a V chain intertwined that commodity side of things, since given that they have that little RFID bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
I mean, you'd have to have some like manual work into there, but
I mean, yeah. I mean,
business
we're talking about physical shit, bro. We're talking about physical shit here. So yeah, of course.
Yeah, all those people that run all the other infrastructure, just fucking make them work on porting it over blockchain
shit. Yeah, easy peasy. Though I gotta lose their job. It's very straightforward.
I mean, they will lose their job because eventually the work will be done and it'll all be automated.
Yeah, pretty much.
In the meantime.
What is a cryptocurrency supposed to be? Well, according to the guy that created the whole shebang, it's a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. So we stick to that definition. And what is this definition? Just to go over it again, it is a purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash would allow payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a financial institution or intermediary. That is the key. So, types of coins, right? You got platform coins like Ethereum, Stellar, and Pulse. Common examples that we know and love. Security tokens serve as direct on-chain representation of real-world securities or tokens that are on the chain, right? Like we were just talking about stocks and stuff, commodities, even mortgages at some point, I'm guessing. Transactional tokens serve as a unit of account. Think of stablecoins and coins like XRP and XLM again. Utility tokens integrated into an existing protocol and use the access services of that protocol. Like a Maker DAO, I guess, or Chuck E. Cheese, or that basic attention token, right? all the same.
I used to love Chuck E. Cheese, bro.
There you go. Governance token.
I had all the fucking prizes, man.
I bet you did.
Fucking lit all those bitches up.
Fuck else is there to do in Wisconsin? Or wherever the fuck you're at.
Beer, man.
Well, that comes a little later.
I was a little young then, though. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You weren't drinking beer.
No, I was just out to Chuck E. Cheese's last week. Or maybe I was.
Talking about, hold on, let me go get this 6-pack while I go. While you guys play this game real quick. I'll be right back. Governance tokens. You guys know Uni and all the rest of those useless things. And those are not cryptos, right? Like when you sit here and look at all of these, none of these really reflect that function except for really these utility tokens, which are integrated into an existing protocol and use the access and services of that protocol, meaning there's some type of utility to some degree on that. I'm sorry, not the utility tokens. Transactional tokens is what I'm talking about, because it's supposed to be peer-to-peer cash, right? Peer-to-peer cash. Yeah, so it's pretty straightforward.
I don't. Can I just interject and say that I don't think any of this fucking shit can be defined simply. Like, I don't think Bitcoin is just peer-to-peer cash, right? Yeah, it is, but it's
that's a problem.
It's like these blockchain. You can't define these things with just one.
I don't think you could confuse the blockchain with Bitcoin though, because the blockchain can be used for any damn thing, and I think you're doing that. Right? Like, peer-to-peer cash is peer-to-peer cash. Peer-to-peer cash is peer-to-peer cash. Right? An insurance system is an insurance system. If you want to represent a claim, then fine, but don't call it a crypto. That's not a crypto. It's not peer-to-peer cash. It was an intermediary involved, and it's not fucking peer-to-peer cash, bro. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole point. There can't be a third party anywhere within that. That's why HEX is the only crypto. Once you throw in an exchange in there, then you're already calling that into question unless the exchange is buying them and then making a market. That's different. But we know that's not the case. In every crypto, we know that's not the case. And that's what separates it, because now all you're doing is adding a third party that's just really benefiting off of you, trading on them. And that's it. That's not crypto, bro.
It's almost like it almost has to do with not only like defining it, but it's like the ethos, like and you see like originally like Bitcoin was programmed to have like one of your basic human rights as one of the properties of it. So you see kind of, it's more of, not so much it is kind of hard to just put a definition like that on these, but it's more of like what it meant to the people and the ethos, why it was started, you know what I mean? So to get away from that, which it's, it has a little bit, but yeah, I agree with Axis. It's not easy to just put a label on some of these things. They're
I guess
evolving now too. It's
yeah, I think to Will's point, he just wants everyone to know, and I do too, that there really is no other financial asset in crypto like HEX. There just isn't. Like, even Bitcoin has counterparty or middlemen, like even on the mining side of it, like top to bottom. If you want total exclusion from into a closed system that's just between you and a contract, that is going to be, it's the only real crypto, the only real currency that's like that, really, I think.
Yeah. And guys, please note the banner scrolling across the bottom is there for a reason. Please don't ignore it. Never give out your private keys or seed phrase, whichever term you like to use. Just don't do that, please. Don't be that person. We've had a couple of instances, I think, or at least one I know of in the past couple of weeks that are very tragic and sad to hear about. So please be wary of what you're out there doing. Beware of the scammers. They're out there. All right. So what makes for a good coin, token, or a good unit of account? And very simply, money is a unit of account for value, or in this case, a digital unit of account, right? Because we're talking about cryptocurrencies in this case. And that's what it's about, right? It's about understanding what it is that you're talking about first and foremost. And the reality is that, yeah, this stuff can be confusing. That's why it's important to understand the difference between something that is money, something that is not, right? If you're talking about something that's based on insurance, and that's just not money, man. That's just some protocol, and that's fine. But don't call it a crypto because it's really not. That's the whole point. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Appreciate that. Finally subscribe to Whales Only. Are we getting bent by Congress with the proposed legislations? Yes. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, they're trying to bent us, but again, it's all a psychological game. You know, the only thing they can really do is attack their own part of the network. And if that happens to be the case, we'll figure it out, I'm sure. I'm not really sweating what they're trying to do because we always find a way. If there's one thing that the internet has taught me in my 20 years on it, is that you can't stop a human being from figuring it out. So good luck to them. That's all I know. So for HEX specifically, right, it serves a specific purpose, and that purpose is making more money. So if you're not in crypto for that or investing for that reason, for that matter, I honestly don't know what you're doing here. You're at the wrong stream. You should probably just leave, turn off, change the channel, because we're about making money here and nothing more. We're about creating wealth, right? So in that respect, HEX works in that fashion because it's not a fixed supply utility coin, right? It's a coin where you can keep creating or keep getting rid of them. Like, it's an actual thing that you can create or destroy. For example, when you buy in HEX from Odex and you're staking it for T-shares, what you're getting is you're replacing HEX by burning it with T-shares, and then you're allotted your payout every night with respect to that. And oh wow, we're way past that point. It's 9:30 over here on the East Coast, so we've already been paid an hour and a half ago. So that's something you have to understand, right? You're swapping out one thing for another. So those HEX that you bought and then staked, they no longer exist. They're gone for good. And now they're represented by T-shares. So that's something you got to understand. That's different. And until you are done with that stake and you burn those T-shares, there is no HEX to account for from your wallet. You're still in T-shares. So, you know, however long that stake lasts is however long those T-shares are going to exist, and those HEX are not. It's important to understand that. And this is what's the difference between HEX and something that's fixed supply. HEX is always being minted. It's always being created, right? That's important to understand. And it's always being burned. It's always being disappeared as well. And that's a function of its design. And that design is by the bonding curve. And that bonding curve is controlled by the T-share rate, right? That's the controlling mechanism for that bonding curve. It's just very important people understand that, because that is a critical aspect of the system. That's how this value is created, right? It's by understanding that T-share, what that T-share represents. It represents a nice chunk of money if you own one nowadays, right? Imagine the people that own several. I mean, that's at least $2,000 at this point. I don't even know, but I know it's more than 2,500, or at least around there. Let's see. I can pull it up real quick. Give me a second.
Yeah, they're probably 2,500 or something like that. Right
They
now.
were that last night, but I think we were trading higher back then. I'm not sure. Let's see. 23 for 81. There you go. That's not cheap.
Nope.
That's a rent for most people. So
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, and that's just
Or a lot of time.
T-shirt.
Or a lot of time.
For a lot of time,
10 year stake, you can get, pay.
Yeah, if you got a third of that,
15%
if you got a third of that in dollar terms, you can get a 10.
Like, honestly, the little guy play right now is to do a bunch of like 10-year stakes.
Yep, I agree. I mean, so for Hex itself, right? You definitely got to realize that longer pays better, right? Especially if you're looking to create wealth, because the system is designed for that. It literally is. So you really got to realize, and that's what this bonding curve is all about, right? Because it's allowed, that T-shirt rate is allowed to exist within this bonding curve, and this bonding curve is what controls the supply, right? And this is what's important to understand. So in essence, you have a coin that exists for a reason, which is to create more of itself and to pay you more of that, right? That's why you stake it and you
to create value. That's
to create value. Yeah, it's to create value strictly. It's nothing else. That's the utility of Hex. It's to create literal value.
It ain't to go fucking out there and print money like the Fed wants to do. It's to create value and hold people accountable.
Correct.
Because that's what makes valuable things.
Correct. So check it, right? If you emergency on a stake, you pay a penalty. If you don't good account, you pay a penalty. Right? You start getting taxed after 14 days at 1% a week. So after 100 weeks, your whole stake is gone. If you're not careful, right? So, and who gets that? The staker class. So if you just want to let it sit there, that's cool. We appreciate it. Definitely ain't mad at you. Word up. Not mad at you at all. So thank you. But again, it's understanding, right, what Hex is, right? It's literally there to create more interest, right? And this is why we look at, do I have Go.Hex open? Yeah, I do. So
and that's one of the best things about Hex, is that the truth engine that we call it, it's honesty. Like, you have to, in order to get these t-shirts, you have to put up a Hex that you bought or that you got, you know what I mean, for a certain amount of time. So it's like the most honest system that I've seen, and that's another example of what makes it so amazing. Just the honesty behind it.
For sure. And check it out. We had a nice payout per t-shirt at 5.972 tonight. Almost 6. It's a little shy, which makes me sad. We got spoiled over here. I'm not going to lie. This was a nice point in time. I'm going to remember these days for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It felt good to get 6+.
Wish I would have had the rest of my liquid bag staked.
Oh, man. Chill. It was crazy, dude. A whole week of nonstop lusciousness. Oof. It was really a solid 8 days or so. It was nice. 9 days.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're back to lackluster below 6. But it's all right. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Too funny. But here we got share price, right? Now, share price is not the same thing as a dollar cost of a t-shirt. This is how many Hex you have to put up to get a t-shirt. So that's why you're looking at 18,402 Hex per t-shirt. I mean, that's a lot of damn Hex, man.
That remember when that just hit 17,000 back in March?
Yeah, March. Yeah, no.
So in 4 months, we're up another 1,400.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, bro.
That's supposed to accelerate, right?
That's what you call demand. And it is going to accelerate because the one thing that's going to happen is more people are going to join the network. And with that, we're going to get more end stakes. And with that comes a higher price because there's a higher dollar cost for a t-shirt every time a stake ends. Because that's how the t-shirt is designed to function. So, yeah, I mean, there's nothing to scoff at, man. I remember when this used to be 15, 14 right after big payday. Like, that wasn't that long ago.
And the next time, whenever Hex moves, you know what I mean? This next move that we have, these the t-shirts are just going to be almost, they're already almost out of reach for most people. That's not going to stop. You know what I mean? It's going to continue to do that.
Back here, t-shirts are like $50-$60, bro. Like, they cost nothing, man.
Yeah,
it's
back
cheap.
post BPD, they were $60. Like when we were, I think, a half a penny up to like 8/10 of a penny. I think that was
crazy,
kind of
man.
your sub $120 T-shirts. So they're really nice.
No, I forgot I have a website. Hold on.
I mean, these. Oh, we never talked about HEXstats.com.
Yeah, we never talked about none of this shit. Hold on. We gotta definitely talk about Hex Daily Stats. That's what it is. And shout out to Ryan Lopez for creating this site. It's freaking great. We'll get to that. But first, this is from A5th crossover, so we're not gonna go to any specific data. But this is now on my website, wellsonly.com/charts. If anybody's interested in checking that out, you can. It's there for you.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Where were we going? Ah, yes. So this is the culprit, right? This is what causes the T rate to go up. It's just a simple fact that you got all these stakes coming out at this point in time. That's pretty visible, right? It's not bad.
Yeah, I kind of want to take all of your daily screenshot of this chart and just make a time lapse video.
Shit would be crazy, dude.
Mm.
It would be crazy. You probably could do it. It would just take a long time.
No, it wouldn't take that long. I just need each image.
Yeah, well, I don't have each image for each day. That's what I mean.
Like
Like, it would be cool to do every single day. Like, imagine
it would
that.
be. It would be awesome. I'd love to. Yeah.
That would be super sick. Super sick. And thank you, Sinclair Crypto, for the $10 super chat. Appreciate that, brother. Hex for the win. T-shares to secure the win. That is right. Love that, man. That's exactly right. Because, man, when you got a T-share, hey, it's only designed to do one thing. And this is what this is all about. Right? Like, so what's happening, right? As we go through time, just to talk about this specific little piece right here, as we go through time, you have stakes ending, right? When a stake ends, that's exactly when a T-share recalibrates higher, because what happens is that the system is recalibrating for the new amount of hex that is required with respect to the interest and ROI earned by that wallet address in the system. So with that, right, it's going to readjust a little bit higher every time. And that's why we see how the T-share rate is now at 18,400 when last week it was like at 18,200. So it's moving relatively fast, right? And if you want to know how fast it's moving, we can easily go to HEXDailyStats.com. And they have a column here where they talk about increase in T-share rate. I mean, look at this, right? I could just download this Excel here and just get the math, but it's pretty easy. 6 times 3 is 18 plus 11 is 29, right? 39 plus 26. So just say 20, 59. Plus 6 is 40, what? 65 plus 8. So that's 65 plus 8 is 73, basically, just in the past 10 days. 73 hex in the past 10 days. An up move and an increase in the T-share rate. That's crazy. And we had a day with 24, 20th of July.
I think we're seeing maybe the biggest amount of stakes as far as like in Hex's history. This in August, this period of time that we're in, there's like more stakes coming due than there's been in a long, I don't know, maybe ever. I'm not sure. I haven't actually looked at that, but there's a lot, coming up in this next period where the stakes are ending. That T-share rate's gonna ratchet up, and yeah, it's interesting to see when you kind of need to get through this little phase, because you're seeing some people are selling, some people are not, but yeah, there's a lot coming due pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a lot of interesting stats here. Let me put this in the chat. Oh, and thank you, Hilitech, for the super chat. Appreciate the kind words, brother. And I'll put my so now whenever you guys want to see a chart set and you can't get a hold of me, you know where you can go. I put it in the chat. It's no longer just this mystery that's ever elusive, these infamous charts. And thank you, Inviting Freedom. Nice name. Appreciate that. 800. T-shirt rate is good. What do you mean? 894 T-shirt rate. There's no such thing. I don't understand. Am I misunderstanding something?
I'm not sure what he's what he's exactly referring to.
Yeah,
Not
don't
sure.
forget that. Don't forget that. Try to rephrase that question. Maybe you put a typo. But again, every time a stake ends, the T-shares get a little bit more expensive because now the system has an account for that little bit more of HEX that has just been minted into the system. So this is the reason why it ultimately costs a little bit more to acquire a T-share, not just in HEX terms, but in return also in dollar terms. And this is why these charts are so important. So we know how fast this is happening. And typically we don't get a greater read than 50%. So I think we got like at 48, 49 one time, but it never really hit 50%. Yeah, it's impossible to get 898, HEX per T-share, bro. That's why I'm like, where you getting that number from? Because the lowest rate ever was 10,000. And that was literally ever. So, yeah, important to understand that. But yeah, that's what this bonding curve situation is all about, right? It's the ability to earn interest. You want to be able to actually earn interest for as long as possible. Or would you ever want to stop? And that's why there isn't just X amount of HEX. That makes no sense, actually. Because then what when you run out? What are you supposed to earn? Fractions of a HEX? Like what? That shit makes no sense. It's stupid. It's entirely moronic. So you have to actually understand what you're talking about before you actually criticize something. And this is why I respect no food rule. Fuck out of here. Ask some questions first. Don't just be a moron. It's ridiculous. Even I knew better than that. And I'm not no freaking genius from nowhere. So there's just no excuse for that. So tokenomics, right? It's again, what is the purpose of the coin, right? What is its existence? What is it for? Is it really serving a function? Why is it here? Is it just so somebody else can pay some more for it? Or is it so somebody can actually do something of value with it? What is the purpose of it? Well, is it really valuable? And again, this is why for me, speaking on the behalf of HEX is so easy. Ain't nothing hard about that. That shit just does what it does. You need to know about it. You're welcome. That's all. I mean, my welcome. I was welcome and I was happy, right? I mean, we're all happy when we're at HEX. There's no doubt about that one. So, that's tokenomics, baby. In my mind, that is tokenomics right there.
Do you feel secure in your investment?
Yeah,
because I do. That's tokenomics. When tokenomics work right to create value, you feel secure in your investment and you're happy to buy more on the dip.
Yeah, literally. I don't know a single hexagon that is not. Wow, what the fuck? So this EIP 1559, bro. What in the fuck? What a shit show. Huh?
It's gas going out of control. What's going on?
I know we're
burning a lot of coins. We're burning like $13 million.
Yeah, let's go to, what is it? Burning ETH? Burning.eth or whatever the fuck? Or what? ETH burning? What is it? Where is the damn browser?
It's probably a good spot to bring this up since we're talking about tokenomics, huh?
Yeah, exactly, man.
It's interesting because Ethereum. So when you're talking tokenomics, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, HEX, like the tokenomics of Ethereum should be Ethereum is gas and gas is energy, and you need the energy, which should be cheap to use and spend, and so the whole idea with
it shouldn't be your fucking diamond.
It should be commoditized. It shouldn't be made a scarce asset. It shouldn't be. By principle of what the network's supposed to do, it shouldn't. But then they took their tokenomics model and flipped it on its head.
Right, but that's the reason. Before you move on, I'm sorry, Axis, but that's the reason why Ethereum is able to just print Ethereum, right? It's able to mint Ethereum for that reason. Because it's meant to be a commodity. It was meant to be cheap. It wasn't meant to be what it is. People forget that. I haven't forgotten.
No, everyone wanted, this gas prices weren't supposed to be like this.
No, not at all.
In USD terms, I mean.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, look at this. This is insane.
So the way that they're addressing all these problems is by making the system deflationary. That just makes things more scarce, and it literally makes the problem worse.
Yeah, it's not going to work
for anybody that's not in a golden castle already of ETH. So they're predicting they're running into the same problem that Bitcoin's running into with their tokenomics, where they're creating this elite class of crypto user that has all this funds, and then no one else can play the game because they've been priced out.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't scale, dude. And not even that many people own Ethereum. You know what I mean? If you want to use it as like where a bunch of people are, like bunch of users, it's going to continue to go up until, you know, if they go to like a proof of stake model completely. But yeah, I mean, you just see it compounds on itself. The more people that come in, the higher the prices, the more scarce Ethereum is, the prices, you know, maybe generally going to go up. But anytime Ethereum's prices are this high, this is kind of what we've always seen. It just seems like it's par for the course.
Yeah. It just plugs the system. It's hard to get anything done when gas is freaking, I mean, come on, man.
But this is what you want if you're like with PulseChain. You want Ethereum's load to be like super heavy right now, because this is exactly the situation where Binance took a bunch of users from Ethereum.
They capitalized like crazy on this shit.
Yeah, so dude, it's almost lining up really nicely for that to happen. But yeah, for the time being, it sucks. Okay, yeah, for most people.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna have a more longer drawn out downtrend off where we were a week ago on the crypto market, but we just didn't. So actually, you know, launching pretty soon would be better for Pulse. You know, because we want to try to time this up with a potential break higher. So like if the bull market continues, it's going to be fierce and it's going to go. You know, it's not going to really give us a lot of time to, like, it won't do the 3 months of sideways I was mentioning earlier. Like when we get to like 55K and then fart around. Like if it's going to go and it's going to be a super cycle, it's going to go, and you're going to be able to tell. So we'll break 55. We might have a shakeout back to 44, and then we'll be gone to like 75, 80. And yeah, I mean, it's the perfect chance for as those prices start to moon for Richard to release PulseChain, you know, take some of that load, because that's exactly what happened with BSC. It was like perfectly timed, and ETH was at its breaking point, and yeah, opportunity was there, and CZ seized it, and that turned into a freaking adrenaline casino over there on Binance Smart Chain.
Yeah, and look at what the price of BNB did in that time, from like 30 to
$30, right?
300. You know, yeah. So it did it 10x.
Topped at 600. Yeah, so did another 20x.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, and yeah, I don't see why I'm obviously there. They market.
You know, I just got more bullish on Pulse, right? I literally just got more bullish on Pulse because I'm thinking to myself, doing the numbers here. Yeah, there's a lot of supply in Pulse, but shit, Binance Coin did do a freaking 20x, man. That means Pulse could easily do a 10x, like overnight.
Dude, it's there. And I think that it's a lot of momentum too. We're gonna have a lot of momentum.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Dude, extra bullish. Yeah, it's I was thinking about that earlier, dude. And then, you know, maybe Binance seems like they're maybe going, I don't know if they're gonna go away completely, but they're having a lot of problems over there right now, and people are retiring and or leaving and getting and so that there's still users there that need to go somewhere too. So it's just it's a good opportunity for sure right now.
Well, you know, interestingly enough, I'm just in shock, right? Because here it is, opportunity to do the right thing. Give people an opportunity to get their projects that are down back running again, et cetera, right? All these things that would be good for the Ethereum network, so to speak, as far as network effect. But no, let's not do that. Let's make it onerous to use. Let's make it expensive. Let's make it a small club. Fair enough. Fair enough.
It almost feels to me like they're having a hard time breaking away from the mining because they want to go stake. So it feels like they're just being pulled in a lot of they're just being pulled in a lot of different directions. The Ethereum team, and they're almost like stuck, and they can't, like, choosing one decision would piss off another segment of the population. So really, the only way out of this is to create a whole new piece of software.
Right.
You know, the only solution was to create PulseChain in my eyes, because ETH2 can drag along and never happen or whatever.
Yeah, I don't actually expect an ETH2. Actually, I don't expect an ETH2.
You won't need it. Something else. This is like this type of like dual layer one system of ETH Pulse or
well, right. We're about to have a multi-chain blockchain.
Multi-chain world, exactly.
Yeah. So actually won't even need it. It's very true. Let's see what we got here. Got a couple questions I want to address in the chat. Let's see here. First one by Hilar Tech asking, how do I get my HEX as a New York State resident, unable to purchase HEX directly due to regulations? Yep, pretty much it, brother. That's pretty much it. If you're a New York State resident, that's what you're relegated to. Your only alternative is to use an outside of New York State address. Otherwise, that is what you have to do. And if you do that, make sure you keep your transactions to small dollar amounts. And my recommendation would be less than $1,000 at a time. I know the average is 10,000, but given that this is crypto, I say less is more. So that's my advice to people on that one. But yeah, if you're buying HEX in New York, that is literally almost, as far as I can tell, the only path. A lot of other people recommend Dharma. And I don't know if that would work in New York, to be honest with you. I don't think so, because New York is pretty locked down from the crypto perspective. They really don't want people in New York participating in that. So you got to really be good at playing the system. And my advice to you would be finding a relative that lives out of state that will be willing to allow you to change your banking address to their home address, or get a PO box out of state or something. Just get yourself something that's out of state that maybe you're a registered, maybe you're a registered agent, maybe you are going to incorporate out of state, and you want to use your state's new bank account address. That's an idea right there. People could try. There's a lot of different things you can do. Just depends. You won't be able to use a New York State address because New York isn't having it. Let's see here. Question from my homie Robert. Trying to say, I think OTC buys are maybe being overlooked. I work with some wealthy people who make $1 million purchases, and it doesn't affect market price, right? So what happens over time is that it does affect supply, right? You can't avoid that. You just don't see it directly in the system, but over time, you do see that supply effect take hold, because what happens is that you end up getting a more vertical chart, right? And this is what we're basically seeing with HEX. I mean, it's only getting more vertical, right? So technically speaking, we should be about to keep going straight up from here. And that's kind of what the price did today, right? It kind of
I do want to interject here quick. Yeah. This is on that note, like, I do agree this is going higher, but I do want to also let people know that there always is a bearish case. And if there was ever a threat to price going lower, I think we've seen it recently with just some of these massive wicks down. And so just fair warning that, you guys, it is always possible that we saw some price action to touch 5 cents. But it's going to be short. But it's going to be short-lived. And
look at that. That's not normal.
What's that?
That's not normal.
Oh no, that's called on-demand bid. That's called on-demand bid, man. You're talking about the sell candle. I'm talking about the buy candle. The buy candle is
always going to come after this type of.
That shit's common, man. Like, that's what I'm saying is, like, if you do get your downside risk here is, I don't know, what is it? Maybe like a 50% drop on a really bad day, but I wouldn't let that deter you from DCing in at these prices, because this formation here could easily just chug up. It's making higher lows, so I mean I'm expecting verticality too. I really am, but I just want to make sure, because like last week, because in the beginning of the SAC phase, I did come on here and I called a move from like 14 cents to the all-time high, and we almost made it. We got to like 17 cents, and then it rolled over and did that nasty downwick, which I did say, but I just wanted to clarify. But I did say that if Richard Hart died overnight, that we could go down to 4 cents. So FYI,
you did say that.
You know, you gotta have to keep in mind, like, there is the downside risk is short-lived on HEX, but if it goes violently. So you want to have your limit orders in, like at levels that you know will get hit, because it's a blockchain, so they'll take time to execute. So you don't need to go for like the bare bones bottom pick. Just put it somewhere. Like if I put a limit order in right now, I would want a wick to tap below 10 cents. You know, if I wanted to actually, otherwise I would just market buy, right? Because it's like trying to buy a limit order at, 11 or like 11.8 or something. You're just kind of, I don't know. It's just that amount of range. It means shit when you're talking your order size. Because if you're talking larger order size, I'm probably not talking to you. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So
anyway,
for sure, no, it's a good point, bro. It's a good point, because it's true, right? Price does not move in a linear fashion, and I know we talk all FOMO-y and all moon boyish and shit in here, and it's important to remember that price does move in two directions, right? And I mean, I feel like we always talk about that, but just in case people forget, because I know we talk about crazy shit on here, it's important to remember that price does move in two directions, right? And that's why.
One thing I was going to add too is like one strategy is if you're going to DCA and you're going to use limit orders too, because I mean these things do move, like Axis was saying, like when they do, it's like a violent move. So have I've done it where I split, DCA 50% and then put, or 75%, whatever I'm going to do for that week, and then put the rest in a limit order at prices like he was saying, just so you can kind of. But I've had it too where I'm trying to time stuff, and then these things run on you, and it would have been better just buying every week, regardless of the price. So it's you kind of get a mix of that. So it's you definitely want to be in place and be ready, but it's not a bad idea to have, like you said, catch one of these dips, because it's definitely, dude, these are volatile things. But I wouldn't doubt if we got well, we might see a little bit, but that's that was kind of I wouldn't say I was unexpected of that pretty big sell or that move down, but we had to be ready for anything. But we know when it moves to the upside, it's just be in position, be ready. Yeah, it's because it's going to be on. It's gonna be on like never.
Once we crack 7, or even when you crack 15.5 the next time and you hold, like that's, if you don't get any violent manipulation, sell, pump, dump shit, then you're gonna see some huge upside moves. Like you're gonna start seeing 5-cent moves pretty soon, guys. Like that's
it's gonna be pretty ridiculous, actually. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty ridiculous. So let's talk about this here for a second. The only way BTC can have a supply shock is if people actually don't sell their BTC. So don't see that happen. Miners are always going to be selling their BTC, so I don't see that shit not happening. So
this is true.
No worries.
We got to pay bills.
Yep. So no worries on that front, bro. So hope that answers that question. See what other questions we got up on here, because they're already hitting that 3-hour mark, so we can start getting to wrap this up.
Yeah, I gotta get on here pretty soon.
That was one question I wanted to ask Axis while he was here. Is like, how do you think Ethereum is gonna, or Ethereum Foundation, the devs, whoever is gonna incentivize or try to make it cool with the miners from going to proof of work?
I almost think the miners are gonna create their own chain.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like
you're not gonna. There's no nice way to do this. It's just pretty much the miners get their ETH 1.0 chain, and then ETH 2 continues on as a staking only chain. That's really the only way through this.
Yep. Sharding or whatever the fuck.
Well, that's what happened with Ethereum Classic, right? Like that's the original, and like this Ethereum is they had the kind of a similar thing where they forked off each other, and then that one basically went and died and does okay. But I mean,
yeah, but the thing about it is there's not a real alive and breathing mining economy behind ETH Classic. There isn't there, but there is for Ethereum.
Yeah.
So, but because of that, you can actually see proof of work coins live forever. It feels like because there's a actual demand there, a real demand, because there's a real yield. So it comes back to the same thing that keeps HEX price moving up. It's that yield. Because as long as you can produce coins at a profit, which anyone can do if they have the right electrical rate, that gives any proof of work coin a chance. So yeah, so ETH Classic is an example of a proof of work chain that is competing with another better, like superior proof of work chain. So it's Ethereum 1.0. So in this case, you have the mining account, all that equipment's going to go somewhere. So you'll find it it'll go to another proof of work coin. So that is kind of couple of your options. Either they take their mining hardware and they start mining a different algorithm, or they stay on ETH 1.0. And that will exist into the future just because you can trade it and you can get a yield on it. That's it. That's all it takes with this stuff.
Yeah. That it makes money.
It'll be interesting. I've just been interested in, you hear about ETH 2.2, EIP 155. Now all this stuff is how they're going to implement the ETH 2.0 with all these miners that are going to be essentially out of a job at that point, at least for mining it at that point, and how that's going to play out. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So let's talk about Pulse for a little bit before we jump off. So PulseChain is going to start at 0, right? Like Richard told us, it's going to start at 0. The bridge is going to be closed, I think, for the first day or 2 or 3, maybe even. Meaning you won't be able to buy anything unless you already have Pulse on the chain, FYI. So you won't be able to bring any fiat in. You will just be able to swap Pulse for whatever else is on the Pulse network, just so people understand that. And everything is going to start at a value of 0. Somebody asked earlier. Wanted to talk about that. And whatever that value is, we don't actually know yet, because it's going to be all based off of the value versus Pulse. And that's pretty important to understand. It's going to be like, Hex versus Pulse, or Pulse versus Hex, or whatever the formulation is going to be. And the value is going to be 0, 0 whatever, right? Whatever the, excuse me, whatever the number ends up being, however many zeros in the number, right? And long story short, to answer your question, Russ, yes, if ETH 2.0 ever does come out, you could have Hex on 3 chains, yes. But yeah, PulseChain is going to be different. No, I don't think. PulseChain, okay, so let's discuss what PulseChain is. PulseChain is basically a better version of Ethereum. That's what Ethereum BSC wish they could be. Okay. If you just downloaded MetaMask on your phone, please make sure you download it from MetaMask.io. MetaMask.io. Want to make sure you didn't download the scammy version. So just make sure you download it from MetaMask.io. And if you live in a state like New York or Nebraska or what was the other one? Hawaii. Understand that the way the banks block you is by the address on your bank card. So you need to change your address. A VPN isn't going to help you in this situation. The address on your card is going to be the thing that gets you nailed. So you need to worry about your actual physical, your mailing address on your card. That's the thing that's going to get you nailed here. So if you can,
it goes by the zip right away. It just checks the zip. Oh, what's your zip? Oh.
Yeah, it just goes by the zip, right? So if you got access to exterior address, you know, knock yourself out. But if you don't, find one.
Hey, that'd be a cool business option. We should set
Yeah.
up a neutral location where you guys could set up an address to.
Yeah, you could do that. What's up, Axis? Don't you live in middle of America? Think you guys can
Middle of
pretty much
America.
trading crypto out there and shit.
That's right. I'll set you guys up with an LLC here.
Nah, yeah, that's what I plan to do. I plan to incorporate and use that address.
Oh yeah, Will,
to
so we
get
could
into-
tell them we're looking at doing those bank accounts with the Bonnie. You guys want to look into like some digital asset custody bank / Avanti Bank out of Wyoming. This is a new bank coming online.
Oh yeah.
They're
There's a couple
crypto
of
friendly.
branches. That's right. Yeah, I still have yet to look at that, but I plan to look into it and then let everybody know.
Yeah, we'll dig deeper on that and then try it out.
We're gonna
Come
dig
back with a
deeper,
report.
let everybody know, because that's all important information that is important to the community, or just to anybody in crypto in general, right? And we're all here to basically talk about crypto. That's why we talk about Hex, because Hex is literally the only crypto. Everything else is on an exchange, so it's not really crypto because it's on a centralized exchange with intermediaries that actually control. Right, it's all about that control aspect. If you don't control it, then it's not crypto, and that's the most important thing that people need to understand. So yeah, so definitely get our Coinbase, keep it in the wallet. Yes, no, if it's not your keys, not your coins. So do not keep any of your coins on an exchange. That is correct. Do not keep any crypto on an exchange. Binance, whatever the case is, do not keep any crypto on an exchange, please. Because what happens is that if they don't want you to touch your money, you don't. Simple as that. So please take it off.
And one other thing, don't ever send Hex back to Coinbase. Ever.
Yeah.
Don't
ever send Hex to anywhere that you don't know where you're sending it. Especially to its own contract or to Coinbase. Because you're never gonna see it again. And if you send it to Coinbase by mistake, if they ever list it, it will then show up on your wallet, but until then, it's lost forever. Until then, it's lost forever.
I've had an incident in my past where I sent Tether to a Bitcoin address. And this is when Tether was built on top of Omni Network, which was built on top of Bitcoin.
Oh, okay. Back in the day.
And the exchange I sent it to was actually able to recover the funds because it was an Omni address. So there are cases in which you can submit a ticket and sometimes they can help you out if you get lucky and you send the right token to the right type of address. But more often than not, you're going to be waiting, 8 weeks to 6 months for them to get back to you, especially if it's bull season.
Jeez.
It could be a while. But yeah, man, it's crazy.
Just important. I seen a dude. He sent I just heard about it. He sent $5,000 to Hex to Coinbase, and they were trying to figure out if he could get it back. It was,
So this actually just happened, but we don't know. We don't have clear evidence one way or the other. If they were able to get it back.
No, there was one dude on Twitter said, hey, you might be, since they don't list it, but it is in their list of coins, you might be able to, do something with it. But, from my experience, I think that actually what happens is they just end up in a cold wallet somewhere, and then somebody has to manually go in and withdraw them. Because there's hot wallets and cold wallets with these things, right? So there's like layers. And it's just, their balance sheet. Most of the trading goes on superficially on their balance sheet. There's not a lot of on-chain shit going on. But if you're going to have them send a worker in and dig and find your coins, then as long as you sent them the Hex to an Ethereum address, then they should be sitting in a cold wallet somewhere that Coinbase controls the keys to. So they should be able to get them. Yeah, technically, yes. If they would send them back to you, they have the ability, but will they do it? I don't know.
Don't know.
Just, don't really want to cross that bridge.
No, you don't. But dude, let's be real. It's been hard, man. It's been a long road for a lot of us to try to figure out where to get your fiat into the system from.
Well, here's a tip from Black Label Expat. Shout out to you for hooking us up with this info, brother. Thank you. He says, Google anytime mailbox. You can exchange your mailing address with a physical address. Cheapo. And yes, sir.
Nice.
I looked it up, and here it is. You apparently, step 1, select a location. Step 2, pick a service plan. And step 3, manage your mail. So there you
Cool.
go.
That's
Thanks,
cool.
brother.
I'll be checking
Very
it out
cool.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm ready to change my address without even having to incorporate for $400. Why
Let's
not?
go.
Let's see what it's about. Let's see.
Power
what
to
it's
the people,
about.
man. This is what's cool about the internet is everyone has some piece of knowledge.
That's right.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right. And again, guys, please check out this tweet. I'll pull it up again because again, it's on us, guys. If we don't do it, good luck to us all because we're fucked. Yeah, straight up. Man,
I think that's what I figured out last year was that, I can't let the boogie band figure out all of our problems in society for us. It ain't gonna happen that way.
It's not. They are the cause of the problems.
100%.
That's what we were talking about at the beginning of the
So-
stream was you can't count on a system that created the problems to help you fix the problems that they created. It's kind of
Same thing as saying like fix the money, fix the world. Like if you fix the substrate, what comes from it will be, better.
Right.
yeah. No, exactly.
If only it was that easy.
hmm
It is that easy when you got whales on your team.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, well, I like to think so. We'll see what happens. Let's see what's going on with oh, they went ham, boy. They ramped that bitch up another 8 billion. Let's see what's going on over here. Ooh, not looking good. They better pamp it harder. They better pamp
I think
it harder.
I think that volume that you just saw come in was actually sell volume.
Might be. Because
I think,
oh,
like
it's
I said
Saturday.
before,
Holy shit,
like I
what's
said
up?
before, weekends are funky, but also just
weekends are funky. You're right about that.
So there's an Asian trading period that happens in their afternoon, which is like between 2 and 4 a.m. American time, and there's usually a huge dumps that go on, or in certain times of the cycle, there's huge pumps. But most often or not, it's the witching hour, and they fucking dump the price around 2 to 4 a.m.
Yeah, they like to dip to make, or they like to create dips to buy them. So,
But then America comes back in at 9 a.m. the next day and buys everything back up.
buys everything back up. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to trade that.
I was hearing crickets in the background, dude. That was
Oh, sorry.
epic.
I'm outside.
No, I kind of liked it. It's cool.
Thought I was hearing shit.
Yeah, no, me too. I was tripping for a second.
Yeah, the problem with
You
New
are.
Jersey is that they tax the fuck out of everything out there. That's the problem. I feel you though, Thomas. I mean, maybe I need to look at New Jersey taxes again, but pretty sure they tax the fuck out of everything out there.
And there's a lot of people that are like, man, I hate that the market is pumping and HEX isn't. It's like, dude, it's always this is how it's always been. Like majority of the time was not always, but I mean most of the time HEX goes up when everything else is going down and tends to go down or sideways when everything is going up. It's not always, but we've seen that a lot. We have a lot of examples of that. So
Yeah.
Don't get too bent out of shape over it. We'll get our time.
We're gonna take it, pretty much, and it's gonna happen by us educating ourselves, spreading the good word, help people understand they have a choice. They are not beholden to some random individuals, because that's the biggest issue that I see, that people don't understand that they have power, and that is something that needs to change drastically. Because when people realize that they can say no, then guess what the fuck they're gonna do? Say no. Pretty simple. So.
Oh yeah, and if enough people can say no at the same time, then you have a lot of power. You know what I mean?
Then they're gonna have no choice but to fuck off. So, all right, no more questions. We're gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. Just remember, good tokenomics, right? Good utility, chain location. Well, shit, we're about to have our own chain. Forks are gonna happen, right? Notice forks, right? Forks are the only thing that can happen. So just remember that.
Just listen to Brand. Brand knows what's up.
Let's see. XSD correlate. Yep, I agree, Brand. Yep, I agree. Yep,
Yeah.
I agree 100%, man. Agree 100%. Agree 100%.
Yeah.
That's go ahead, bro. Go.
I see most of the people that do complain, they haven't been in that long, you know.
Nah,
It's
yeah, they
just-
haven't been on, and that's
they're
okay.
just-
They'll learn to shut the hell up.
Well, it's
They'll
crazy
do it.
because you could literally be pissed because Hex is sitting still for 6 months, and then you're gonna quick do a 10x. It's like, oh, I'm not so bad anymore.
Yo, and they're gonna be so fucking paid because they was racking up that interest that whole time that they weren't
Yep.
even noticing.
Building value,
Yo.
and then bam, they hit him with the 10x.
Oh my god, that shit is gonna be so. Cause yo, that's exactly what happens, right? That shit went sideways for months. Like I gotta show V1 just to show how
Dude, show this chart for
Yeah,
anybody
like-
that hasn't seen it.
V1. Yeah, if you're new, you need to understand what you missed.
Or what's coming, I guess is a better way to put it. Because like this fractal is going to continue to play out.
Well, this is what's coming.
Yeah.
This is what's coming, but then this is gonna come.
Yeah.
A whole lot of sideways, and yeah, it might have went up and then down and then up and then down, but still, you know, it was an overall downward move before it even hit a new high of 65%, 66%, right? And that's crypto, man. 67% is gonna do that shit.
So
Gonna go
FYI, everyone,
sideways.
off that high at 21, 22 cents, we actually came down 64%, down to 7 some odd cents.
Yeah, 8 cents or so.
So we actually did that. We did that same move, percentage wise, instantly. We just got it done with, and then we did another one yesterday. So these, because there's just much less selling. There's just much less people willing to sell their coins here. That's just all this is. Like
Yeah,
people that
this
are
is
in right now
literally
that
a
are
few
holding
people
massive amounts of
selling right
coins know the value proposition of Hex, and they're not seeing, they're seeing dollars already. So, and I mean, a lot of us were just letting these few guys get out, make a new floor, let a few guys get out, make a new floor. It's not, there's just not, it's going to take them, like I've said this on multiple streams now, it's going to take a much larger move up to bring us down. So,
well, it's funny, right? Because the higher we go, the more people are gonna sell. It's an interesting circular loop. The higher we go, the more people are gonna be enticed to sell. The more they're gonna sell, like we're seeing right now, right? And ultimately, price is only going to do one thing because it trades in a hallway here in a vacuum. It can only go in and it can only go out through the same hole. So eventually, that seller is gonna start running out of ammo, and they're gonna keep selling those little bullets, and eventually those bullets are going to run into a wall. And what's going to happen is that wall is going to start absorbing all of those sales, and the price is going to stop going down. Right? At that point, prepare yourself, because that is when this shit is about to skyrocket. Like something serious. It's going to be crazy. Because right now we're just experiencing a seller, and for all we know, it's the same entity with a lot of hex selling a shit ton of coins. Because this selling here doesn't make any sense. Given how hex operates, doesn't make any sense. And I sent a tweet out this morning talking about it. Some people were mad because I didn't say who, and I don't need to say who. If you've been around long enough, you know who the fuck it is. And if you don't know, well, then you better figure it out. But
don't matter who it is. Point is, these guys are gonna run out of ammo. And
long story short,
going higher.
They're gonna run out of ammo. That's right. They're gonna run out of ammo, and eventually, what's gonna happen is that they're gonna be buying way higher. Not even somewhat higher, way higher. Why? Because the price only does one thing, and what's happening now is that you're building all this value because you're not letting price go where it's supposed to go. So what happens is that you're getting all this payout per t-shirt printing all along here, meaning you're collecting all this interest here. So all this value is being created during all this time. And guess what? At some point,
so real world, people are looking at their staker apps and they're looking at their accounts and they're seeing all this growth and they're looking at the time value locked in the system going up every day. And they can't claim all this stuff for years into the future. So there's no real inflation, new coins coming in, really. So the price would go up. It's such a simple thing. I don't know if people don't get it.
very simple.
You know what I mean?
Because the coins aren't going anywhere. It's deferred inflation.
We're not
across
getting
time.
we're getting all this. We're seeing this growth and this interest in the system accruing value for everybody, but no one's really selling on it because they can't, because they're accruing the value.
Yep.
So it's a circular loop, like you're saying.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing because it works to function like that so that it doesn't go out of line, right? Like we have now, where we got this rampant inflation, low growth, high unemployment, crazy ass cost of living increases. Like it's wild out here. Like economically speaking, the world is in the dumps. Doesn't matter what the market looks like. We all know fiat is the rules. Like, let's be honest.
And that's the thing. Like, everyone obviously loves the pumps, you know, the huge price moves. But you know, those guys that got rewarded for those big moves you see on the chart. Look at what they held through, you know, weeks, months before that. So it's not like they just didn't, you know, maybe a few of them jumped in and got in at the perfect time. But the majority of these guys, or whoever, made they had to hold. So you have to, this is something that you should get used to in crypto, your portfolio fluctuating large amounts overnight. These things just happen, and HEX is no different in that case, you know. So that's just normal activity. It's a feature, not a bug, like Richard says.
Correct. And that is a true statement right there. It's a true free market, right? Anything that's a true free market is going to function as a function of a supply. And supply is thick, baby. Trust me. Stays on deck. No matter where we at, we lit. All right, so we're going to wrap it up, guys.
Right.
You guys share yourselves, please. Let the people know where to find you, and I'll go last.
Well, you could find me El Hexidente on Twitter, TikTok, Telegram. Shout out to all my people on Twitter. You guys have been killing it. We had like 800,000 impressions in 28 days.
Oh my God, dude.
Just online.
I can't keep up on Twitter. It's insane.
Insane. Dude. We're doing great. So
yeah, it's insane.
Follow me there. Appreciate you guys.
Yep, twitter.com/AccessLive. If you want to follow me for some charts and some graphics. I do some HEX graphics too down there sometimes, so check that out.
All right. You guys can find me on Twitter on twitter.com/WellsOnly1, like you see on the screen. Let me get rid of this here. There you go, on the screen there. And you can also check out my website, wellsonly.com. Got a little bit of everything on there. More to come. There's just V1. Also find me on Telegram at t.me/wellsonly. And on YouTube at youtube.com/wellsonly. And thank you guys for tuning in. I'll eventually have to get one of those my links joints because this shit getting long.
Linktree.
Yeah, Linktree, whatever it's
all
called.
My links or whatever they call.
Yeah, I don't know what that shit's called. Maddie hook it up. He knows all that good shit. So thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate all of you for being open to being educated to what's actually going on out there. And as always, check you guys on the next one. I think I might do another stream tomorrow. We'll see. You guys stay tuned. I'll let you know. Peace.
Peace.
Later, guys.